Welcome back to another episode of True Crime Time with T-REV. How is it going, everybody? What is going on? Shout out to everybody that's showing up tonight, though. I appreciate you guys. Let me go through some of y'all's comments here. I see some of y'all in here. Brian, Shorty, what is it? Shorty, Womp Womp, the Jersey Princess, Susan in the building, truly blessed. I see you. How's the mic sound? We sound all right? I turned the volume down because I noticed that shit's been loud lately. Delana in the building. What's going on? Truly blessed in the building. Starla. No chains. Concerned citizen 2022 forever. Shit, it's 2023. You might want to change that name. You heard? You might need to change it. Change it forever. Shit, it's 2023. Anyways, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. It's free. It's free 99. So lock in on it. Let me see. Michelle Mouse, how's it going? Hi, Ashley. Start 9 Central. We were a little late. What? A couple minutes? 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes. I was looking through some files on a case, other than the Idaho 4 that was pretty insane, which a lot of y'all probably know about. Sheba, what's going on? Ashley Knox says, "Is this happening? Sorry, just got here and the timing is way off. The timing is not off, really. I said 9, but I was like 5 minutes late. But yeah, I'm here. I'm here. Susie, what's going on? Welcome. Almost time. Nikki Brink says. Hold on, let me fix this too. I want to put a let me remove that shit. Unpin. Okay, there we go. But what's going on with everybody? T-Rex in the building. I need to change my name to T-Rex, right? Because that phone call, T-Rex. Tree Baby Tennessee, how you doing? Nice to see you. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate you. Why the hell is this not working right now? I don't like it. There you go. It's working now, ain't it? This box is loud though. All right. I should sound a lot lower because I ain't trying to sound loud. What up, Katie? How you doing? Welcome. T-Rex. Right? It is. It's T-Rex. They call me T-Rex now, I guess. That's the new nickname. I don't know if you guys what did you guys think about that phone call? T-Rex. Hey, T-Rex. It's T-Rex. What up, High Priestess? How you doing? Hollis in the building. Hollis in the building. What's going on? Kathy, Tammy, Jips, Dino. I gotta know. Karma. Yeah. T-Rev is now affectionately known as T-Rex. We'll see. I got a couple videos I want to check out. Then we can open up some lines and do some stuff. There's a case I want to look at though that's different than the Idaho 4, but we can jump into that later in the stream.
More than 60 companies have been served warrants by Idaho prosecutors who are still seeking for a motive behind the brutal killings of 4 Idaho college students. Brian Koberger has been charged with those murders, but nobody knows why he allegedly carried out the crimes. He has been linked to the home where the victims were killed through his cell phone, through DNA found on a knife sheath left at the scene. News Nation's senior national correspondent Brian Enton joins us live once again. And Brian, hundreds of pages of search warrants were just released, but they aren't all new.
They're not new, but they're new to us, Marky. We hadn't seen them before. They were sealed as part of the gag order. They were released late Friday night, sort of unexpected, a big document dump. More than 700 pages of search warrants, still a lot of redactions. So we don't know exactly what was going on or what they found with these warrants, but we have somewhat of an idea. What's interesting is back in December, before they even arrested Brian Koberger, they sent out search warrants to companies like Amazon, eBay, and Walmart, asking them to provide a list of anyone who bought these items, the K-bar knife or the knife sheath. Apparently at that point, they were going to go through those lists and try to figure out exactly who the suspect may have been. Of course, we know eventually they came up with Brian Koberger. Again, though, the warrants are redacted, so we don't know if it was those search warrants from those retail companies that helped lead to an arrest, Marky.
So interesting. And also, I wanted to ask you about this. What about social media? I know a lot of these new warrants are also for social media companies.
Yeah.
Yeah, a number of warrants went out to social media companies, Tinder, Facebook, Meta. There was also Yik Yak, which was interesting, Apple, basically going back and asking for social media documents and records related to not only Brian Koberger, but in some instances also related to the victims, apparently trying to see who they were messaging, if they had been in touch with Koberger. They also went back and went to several of their banks and went back and started looking through bank statements also, Marky.
And Brian, lastly, any idea when we may see those redacted versions and get the full picture of what police obtained with the new warrants?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't think anytime soon. It seems like we're only going to see the redacted versions for now. Perhaps at that preliminary hearing that's expected to be about a week long, we may see a lot of that evidence finally come out. That'll be in June. But up until then, it seems like they're going to be very, very tight-lipped and keep everything sealed.
Well, Brian Entin, we know you're all over it, as always. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation.
And there are new warrants issued in the Brian Koberger quadruple murder case out of Idaho. Some of them are by big companies, Amazon, Apple. We have to understand what this means about the case. Let's bring in the better minds. Florida State's Attorney Dave Arenberg and high-profile trial attorney Mark Garagos. It's good to have you both. Let me start with Koberger. This is a heady list in terms of brand names, Dave, of who is on the warrant list for this Koberger case. A couple of them make sense to those who've been following. DoorDash, Garagos will tell us why that's so important to the timeline, potentially. K-Bar Knives, not exactly sure why they needed a warrant, but does this surprise you in any way?
Not at all, Chris. And the ones that I'm most interested in is the dating sites like Tinder, because we want to show that there's a motive here. That's probably the thing that is most puzzling. What is the connection between Brian Koberger and the victims? Well, if he was stalking them on Snapchat, Instagram, and the dating sites, well, that tells you a lot, and that can go a long way. Even though you don't have to prove motive in a first-degree murder case, the jurors still want to know the why. And that to me is still the weakest part of the prosecution's case as of today, but I think that's going to change soon.
One step sideways, because I believe you betrayed your prosecutor's grudge to my producer. Did you say that you believe that Brian Koberger having an interest in watching coverage of his case is proof he's a sociopath?
Well, that combined with the fact that apparently he is pretty quiet.
Welcome, Sally, Scarlett, Zans, Randy, Laughing Stock, Karen, Just Susie's Thoughts. Woot woot, we live, having fun already. Who's getting snow? Oh, you mean like snow outside or visual snow like Brian Koberger? Which one you mean? There's some snow here though.
In prison while the inmates are yelling at him and he shows no emotion. What kind of person is obsessed with looking at coverage of his own case and doesn't react when other people are yelling at him in prison? Sounds like a sociopath to me. I mean, there's a lot of evidence of that, and I don't want to call him a sociopath because I don't know the guy, but he's sure playing the part of one.
You said it twice, first of all, and he could just be scared and curious about his own fate. But I hear you on that. I'll be back to you in a second. Counselor Garagos, remind us why DoorDash is fundamental here in terms of understanding what may have happened or not and when.
Well, they're constructing a timeline. In that timeline, there is a DoorDash delivery. I forget the exact time. I want to say 4 a.m. But they're going to want to know whatever records, who called, what was placed, the order, who delivered, who responded, and the various little kind of circumstantial evidence that they can develop along those lines, because that is going to close the window for the timeline for them and is going to become very important. And to David's point, if I could also step sideways for a second, David, I don't know how many clients you've ever defended, but I can tell you they're all everybody who's ever been charged is a sociopath, or they have a unique interest because they're the ones being accused and they are preoccupied, I will tell you, in their fate and in their case itself. In this case, if you believe the lawyer who defended him in Pennsylvania, he feels like he's going to exonerate himself. And so I can't imagine, especially when you're locked up 24/7 a day, that you wouldn't be obsessed with coverage on your case.
Let me ask you something else, Dave. And just to close the circle on that, if I'm where he is, I'm quiet. If my case is on TV, I'm watching. But I'll tell you when I would have been loud. And Garagos has heard me say this many times. When they came to my house at 2 o'clock in the morning to arrest me and said that we're here because you are accused of killing 4 people, I'm talking like crazy. If it wasn't me, Dave, I'm telling them a million different ways why it's not me. Garagos disagrees.
I agree.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to
I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. Right? I don't know. That's just me though. I agree with what he just said. If if you come and you booted my windows and all this shit and you say you got me on murder, I'm snapping. Every time you see me, I'm gonna be freaking the fuck out in front of a camera, which is why I think Bryan Kohberger is our guy 100%. Despite all the rumors that we hear, allegedly. Everything that you hear on the channel is allegedly. If you haven't heard it from law enforcement, it's not true. That is a disclaimer that we put out. You will hear trigger warnings, etc. We are getting revved up tonight. Listen, folks, I do want to stand tall and tell you, even though I get these phone calls from these people, they say that there's deep corruption in Moscow. Yeah, there might be. There really might be deep corruption in Moscow, Idaho. There might be crooked cops switching back and forth to Pullman like the ma'am that I talked to on the phone. There really might be that. It's not, you know what I mean? Like, it's not, I'm not saying that that's not some type of shit going on around there. A lot of people seem to think Bryan Kohberger is the fall guy in this situation. A lot of people have been telling me a lot of things. They can't find Ethan's death certificate. They can prove that Brent Kopeka and Bryan Kohberger are connected together. They can prove that. I'm not saying you're lying. I'm not. But I do think Bryan Kohberger is a player or the main guy in the murders of the Idaho 4. Allegedly. And I do believe that still to this day. My stance has never changed on that. I really do think Bryan Kohberger is our guy, the guy that got caught. I really do. But, and like I said, allegedly, and that disclaimer speaks for me in my fucking description, which you can see, excuse my language, and at the bottom of the screen. But is there possibly somebody else, another player? There's a chance. Sometimes people don't speak. Is Bryan Kohberger one of those lucky dudes that never spoke and didn't snitch on somebody? Or is Bryan Kohberger just that guy? I don't know. You call and tell me. 219-885-9693. I'll open up the lines. Call and talk to me. 5 minutes. What's up? That's what I'm just. I just speak what I feel, and I give my platform to everybody else who wants to speak their opinions and thoughts, and I take everything else I see with a grain of salt. I'm just going based off of DNA at the scene, which could be, thrown out if that's all they had, right? Touch DNA, it could be thrown out. They have touch DNA has been thrown out in several many cases, but what else do they have against Bryan Kohberger? What else is it? Hannah says I'd lose my shit. Absolutely. I'd be banging shit, punching shit, elbowing officers. I'm fucking innocent. I'd be flipping out. I would go crazy. That's just me though. LJ D3 says, yep. I'd be singing like a bird. I'd be singing like Mariah Carey, Jennifer Lopez at the Super Bowl. I'd be turned up. I'm telling you, I'd be going crazy. Hey, to each their own. If you're going to tell me that an innocent person is going to sit there like this and do nothing, nah. That's just me allegedly. 252, what's going on? You live. My North Carolina part.
Hello.
What's going on? North Carolina in the building. What's going on?
Oh, yeah. How are you doing?
I'm hanging in there, ma'am. How about yourself? What's your name?
I'm doing good.
What's your name and what, I know you represent North Carolina, but what's on your mind? What are you thinking about this case?
Yes, I was calling because I listened to your caller from last week, the lady from Washington, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did some research, so I was able to confirm some things that she was saying.
Okay.
So I didn't know if you wanted me to share, but I'm willing. That's what I confirmed.
Share whatever you confirm you feel. That's why I let you guys call up, because I want to hear what everybody else thinks. Not everybody's gonna think like T-REV or what everybody else thinks on the internet or YouTubers. You know what I mean? Like nobody's gonna think that.
Oh, okay. So the reason that I kind of went out and took a look at what she was saying or trying to find something to support it is because I noticed that a couple of the moms that have been calling in from those areas, there's kind of a reoccurring theme with them. They seem to be kind of gravely concerned about what's going on in their community, and you can sense it in their emotions and in their voice. You know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am.
So, so I kind of looked into Washington Police Department, and they do have a lot of information on their website to support some of the things that she was saying. Like from 2014 to 2018, for it to be such a small police force, they did have at least 93 internal affairs investigations. So from some complaints that came in, and that was just the ones that they felt like they needed to investigate, whereas some of them, other complaints were not investigated. And I thought that was a little bit egregious considering the size of the police force. You know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am.
And also there was a history of a police officer. He was raping, accused of raping some people, and some of the women got very afraid to testify against him. So that turned out to be true, but eventually he was convicted and all of that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. And then also I kind of listened to what the daddy had to say, Mr. Steve. And he also said in one of his interviews that there have been a lot of cold cases. And that kind of was a red flag for me. I'm not sure what he meant by a lot of parents that came to him and asked him to kind of be sure that he, stayed on top of what happened to his daughter, because a lot of the other cases had gone cold. And I was like, cold cases, meaning what? You know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am.
So that was kind of weird. But it's in his interview with the Chronicles of
Olivia. Chronicles.
Yes. And he also said that they advised him if he speak up too much, some of the other parents. So you have to listen to it, but I'm just paraphrasing what he said. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So don't hold me word for word to what I'm about to say. But anyway, he kind of made a point of saying that there have been some other cold cases, and the parents of those victims of the cold cases encouraged him to kind of keep doing what he was doing when he was putting pressure on them to do their job. And also, he also used the word that it might lead to him not being employable, meaning it could affect his livelihood. So that kind of struck me very hard. You know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am.
Because nobody should feel like they can't speak up about the death of their child. It might lead to them losing their job. So I'm like, what's really happening over there? What's happening on the other side of the country? You know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am.
So, but yeah, I got some more, but that's kind of the gist of it. It's something is going on, but I don't know what, because I'm in North Carolina. But anyway, I just wanted to share. Yeah.
I think it's like, because there's a lot of people that reach out from there locally and they state corruption, and they say just check and like Paula was saying, she was dropping, hey, look, her son is somebody of importance around there. He came back and told her that shit was fishy, and that it's just the people, and also there was things that I cut out that I just didn't want to put out there because for her, because it was a little deeper than what I put out. There was the phone call was originally an hour and 18 minutes. I had to literally cut out so much that it ended up 41 or 42 minutes. So like she, dropped some things in there that and she sent me some pictures that I've never seen anywhere on the internet, nowhere, which was interesting also. I shared one of them, but that was she, because she said I could, but I didn't share the other ones. But she sent me some pictures that were like, I promise you can't find these on the internet. And damn sure they're nowhere. On a Google search, I could not find them nowhere on the internet.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I kind of did a little bit of homework after listening to her, because it just seems like it's a couple of moms that've been calling in to different, YouTubers, and they sound like they're very concerned, not just they want to protect their kids, but they're also concerned about, these 4 kids that are gone on. And they also, feel like they can't say too much. It's just that same tone with the moms that's been calling in. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, so that's what kind of triggered me to kind of look at some stuff for myself. But who knows if he's the guy or not the guy, but time is a teller of all things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What's up? They keep mentioning the cartel, which, if you think about it, the cartel is all over the West Coast. I mean, you think the Mexican border is right there. So, I mean, a lot of people that have called, there's people that I haven't even got to even talk to, that I've went back and listened to voicemails where people are like, you don't even know. I live right here in Oregon, but I'm between Moscow and Washington, and I'm telling you, the cartel is deep. There's some crazy shit going. Like, I've heard so many voice messages from when chat was filled up and people were calling in back to back. It like I listened to so many, and that woman was trying to get a hold of me for a minute, like damn near December 6th.
Oh yeah, so she wanted to get something off her chest for sure. But I remember maybe a few years back, because I watch a lot of PBS, and the Idaho was on PBS, or 2020. I can't remember which. But anyway, it was maybe 2019, 2018. It's hard to remember the year because time is accelerating for some reason in my life anyway. But anyway, I remember Idaho. Someone from Idaho, maybe the state police, and they were talking about a task force that they had put together.
Yes, ma'am.
With another state. And I remember, my family and I, we were like, when they brought up Utah, we were like shocked, because we were like, well, the Mormons, why would the Mormons let, the drug kings get a foothold in Utah? So, and I remember them mentioning Utah, because that's what our conversation here was about, after they mentioned Utah. And I remember them mentioning Wyoming, and we started talking about Liz. You know what I mean? Who Liz is, right? So we were like, Liz got to do her job and get them out of her state. But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you and your audience. So I'm just kind of concerned about the moms and the kids, and it seems like they're very concerned.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely. That's why I dropped it, because I mean, if you seem concerned for your kids and everybody around you, then I feel like the message needs to be heard, because who am I to step out and say that's not true? I take it with a grain of salt, yes, but I do know that corruption is in America. I'll leave it at
that. It's everywhere. And I know in North Carolina, anytime you hear the word drugs, I mean, we've been trained as Americans to think cartel. It doesn't necessarily mean that it is cartel. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We've just been, kind of brainwashed into thinking if drugs are in our community, the cartel has to be involved. That's kind of how we have been kind of brainwashed. I don't know if that's the right word to use,
right?
But we always link the cartel to drugs when it's not, may not be the cartel. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But anyway, thank you for your time, and I know it's time for me to give up the mic. But anyway, thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome, man. Thank you for having a voice in the community. We appreciate you. God bless you, and lock your doors.
Oh yeah, we thank you. Appreciate you too, and your audience as well. Thank you.
Thank you, man. God bless you. Hit it up. 9693. Get that 5 minutes on the clock. Get it out. What you both are good. Yeah, I'm good, Dak. Win me a Super Bowl and I'll be better. Come on, Dak. I need you to win me a Super Bowl. Because we ain't getting shit done with the team we got right now, Heather, it can be brutal. Let's see, I'm not convinced he did it. Call me up and tell me why. I love hearing it. Miss Haley, if the truth sets you free, what he said, if the truth sets us free, then in this situation, the truth will never come out. It's too corrupt. Trevor, you're always so kind and considerate of others on your streams. That's how you have to be. That's for sure. 870, what's going on? You live?
Hey, T-REV, how are you?
I'm hanging in there. How about yourself, man?
I'm doing all right. This is Jen from Arkansas, and I just wanted to start by saying your chat is so respectful. Holy moly, I'm an immediate fan.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
So
Sometimes it'll get out of hand, but we clean it up.
I really like the way you do business. It's pretty awesome, and your chatters and your live chat are pretty great too.
Thank you so much. So what's on your mind? 5 minutes, you got the floor. Is speak your mind.
Well, I wanted to point out a couple of things. On the PCA, a lot of times people will read through what DM said, what she heard. I'm on page 3, and it says, actually, page 4. At the top of page 4, it reads, that she hears what she thought was Goncalves say something to the effect of, there's someone here, right? And then she says that she also hears the other things. In the next paragraph, I think a lot of us, I missed it. I don't know if anybody else did. She repeats herself and she says, Deanne stated she looked out of her bedroom but did not see anything when she heard the comment about someone being in the house. Like, I always read that to say that at the top she says, she hears Goncalves say something to the effect of, there's someone here. Well, when I read it again, I guess I just skipped right over it and read it to say that she did not see anything when she heard the comment about someone being in the house. I think that's important because basically it's saying that she knew somebody was in the house even before. It goes on to say she stated she opened the door a second time when she heard what she thought was crying coming from Colonel's room. Yeah. So that's just something that I missed. And then, do you guys want to hear something extremely weird?
Yeah.
It's way weird. And so I will be very careful. If you want to grab a pen and paper and jot down a couple of things, it is out there. Okay.
I got my notepad pulled up right now.
Here we go. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
I believe that Kohberger is mimicking not only Bundy, but Patrick Bateman from American Psycho, as well as the third one is Zac Efron from Wicked Evil, the movie that Zac Efron was in, that he was being Bundy. There's a few different reasons. First of all, Bundy went to a sorority house. He attacked 4 people. Okay. There is a little bit of a similarity. 3 of the girls were 21 and 1 of them was 20. In our situation, 2 were 21 and 2 were 20. Excuse me. In Bundy's case, Nita Neary literally saw him as he was leaving. DM saw him as he was leaving. In the Chi Omega house, there was a roommate who never woke up. She never heard anything. And a year later, when she had to testify against him and all of that, a year to the date of the Chi Omega murders, that young lady actually took her own life.
Wow.
So there were 6, even though there were more, there were 6 that had like a key role. Okay. Something else that matches in Ted Bundy's, he talks specifically in Conversations with a Serial Killer. It's actually on Netflix, Prime, YouTube. He talks about the door. He says, did you target them? And he says, well, maybe the door just wasn't unlocked. The girls, he actually talks from a third person. He says, well, the girls said that the door should have been locked, but there was a way for this person to get in. Right. So again, in 112 King, we had a door issue. A week before, there was mention of a door. Then they were saying maybe that's not what it was, but clearly he was able to get in. Last but not least, in his interview about the Chi Omega murders, he is interrupted with a light through the window. And the detective or the guy writing the book says to him, he says, now, can they have food delivered there? This is talking about Ted Bundy.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, well, I mean, what do you mean? And he says, I mean, if they wanted pizza, could Pizza Hut deliver food? And he said, well, you know, I guess they could.
Mm-hmm.
Let's keep in mind in 1122 incident, there was a DoorDash. Literally, those things all match. Now, in the book, American Psycho, on page 118, it talks about, I would rather you guys look it up and read it.
Mm-hmm.
American Psycho, the original book, is extremely brutal. But it talks about why this person in American Psycho is having such a breakdown.
Chat
Huh?
about Dexter. Did you mean Dexter?
No, American Psycho.
American Psycho, but
Yep, American Psycho. Patrick Bateman is also playing something similar to Ted Bundy, and let's keep this in mind when it comes to American Psycho. He's basically acting out a Bundy-esque type of character, okay? In American Psycho, there is a scene where Patrick Bateman is SAing one of the girls, and the other girl takes off, and as he's chasing her, there is a couple already deceased in the closet.
Mm.
Again, that matches 112 King exactly. I know it sounds crazy, but Bundy had killings in Washington, Utah, Colorado, Idaho, Utah, and also the direction that BK went after the murders and was gone for like 3 hours is the exact route toward many, many, many of Ted Bundy's dumping sites. He actually took parts of his victims with him.
Mm. Yeah.
So look into that. And page 118 in, I can actually read this one to you. I can actually tell you what it says real quick. Page 118 in, I think it's Conversations. This is something I could email to you, but it talks about why Bundy chose the house. And maybe it says maybe one of the girls insulted the person who did it. Maybe he only took the lives of the second girl as well as the other two girls that got attacked but lived because they were a witness to something. And that he went in there to take his target and those other people just happened to be there.
Mm.
So I was totally sold out that Maddie was the target, but I cannot shake that Patrick Bateman, Ted Bundy, Zac Efron, all three, which are doing Bundy-esque characters, chose a dark-headed female with a part down the middle. And they say that all of their killings from then on represented that ex-girlfriend. Also, another thing I wanted to tell you guys about is don't forget to go back. I want to say it's the New York Post or the New York Times.
Mm-hmm.
They do a full story back in December of all of the people that knew Kohberger, that knew him as a friend. Y'all, he had two different friends in 2018 that died of an overdose.
Mm-hmm.
He helped save somebody when he was a security guard at that school. Now, Ted Bundy also helped save somebody. And I just can't get it out of my mind. Like, what if they really dug in there and he was still doing heroin with these people and it wasn't an accident? Like, what if he has many more? Like the couple of last year of 2021 that died at 3 o'clock. They attacked them at 3 o'clock. The elderly lady the year before in Idaho that was stabbed to death.
Wasn't it just Travis that died?
Wasn't it what?
Just Travis Jewton that died? Is that the one you're talking about where him and his wife got hit up at night?
Yes, but it was the 13th. And hey, here's another thing. Yes, it was. It was just one person that died. But in my mind, Ted Bundy at one point admitted that his very first victim was actually a man. Part of me cannot shake that Kohberger is just acting out all of this, that there's not just one knife, that there's multiple knives, multiple weapons, multiple things that he used on them. Another thing, what was the other thing I was going to say? It was, don't forget that some people are kind of up in the air. Was the termination legit? Was it not? I can tell you that I not only sourced it, but Banfield and New York Times also spoke directly to source, and it is legit. Mm-hmm. So when we look at those dates, October 3rd, 9/23, he had an altercation with Professor Snyder. He had to meet with somebody on 10/3. So all this ties together. If you go look at the video from JLR, I don't recommend any of the other videos, but the video where he's talking to the Moscow resident, it's literally Jonathan Lee Rich's Moscow resident dog.
I've seen it where he's talking to the person whose dog was skinned, or what?
Yes. Not only was the dog skinned on October 21st, which is also the day on his termination paperwork that he got an email saying he was failing. But in that same video, she says 2 weeks ago, they found a rabbit with the top of its skull cut off, and the skull was taken, but everything else was left. That lines up with his October 3rd meeting. The October 21st lines up with the dog. Part of me wonders if he was maybe going to try to kill them, but then everything got crazy with him getting in trouble, getting put on a performance plan. And let's not forget, this is my last thing and I'm going to let you go. If Brian Koberger was mimicking Bundy, Patrick Bateman, American Psycho, Zac Efron from the Wicked Evil Bundy movie, Ted Bundy was 27 when he got caught. Brian Koberger was 27 on the 13th. He had to do it that weekend because he turned 28 in like 10 days on the 21st. November 21st is his birthday. Patrick Bateman was 27. Zac Efron was 27. I know that sounds crazy, but when you're OCD, numbers, repetitive, things that repeat and repeat and repeat. For example, that book, American Psycho, this will blow your mind. In the book, it has the names Bethany, Ethan, it has the word Madison, Buddy, Murphy. It has tons. It has Chris. It has Michael, which is his dad's name. When you hear those words over and over and over again, he could very well say, if I'm going to do this, I've got to do it now. And in my mind, he kept up with Maddie's Instagram. So the second that Kaylee posted the pictures from the 11th, I think he knew right then what he was going to do. That's just what I think. Now, I have heard all the other callers talking about the drugs and all of that, and I've certainly been looking into it and starting to pull stuff. But from this point, it's a lot. And part of me thinks that all the lying, the back and forth, they're not telling us because he possibly took parts of them. And I know that's hard, and I know that's a lot. But there's no reason for him to have drove that direction. Keep in mind, Bundy dropped one of the girls he killed in the Snake River. It shows that he went up and that way toward Taylor Mountain. Issaquah, there's a burial site at Issaquah. Why did he go down to Loma, Colorado to get his dad for the flight? Why didn't he fly in closer? Well, Salt Lake City's down there, and that's where Ted Bundy was actually living at one point. Like, I really think that this is, I would not suggest everyone watch it. Bundy actually says what got him into serial killing was brutal pornography. And I would not suggest anyone read the book American Psycho. It is beyond brutal. It was banned in many countries and the U.S. for a very long time. But page 118 on there It's got information, page 118 in Conversations with the Serial Killer. There's 118 in, what's the guy, Elliot Rogers' manifesto. Page 118 is talking about he can't have the day of reconciliation because of sex. He can't have sex, so that's why he's doing it. I think Kohberger has killed before as early as maybe 14. That's around the time that his mother was writing letters. If you dive into that thing I was telling you about where his friends and family are talking, he actually had to leave the law enforcement program that he was in school at that time, but they couldn't go into detail about why. And then right before he graduated, he went home to finish out the year. Like, I think there was a lot of behavior problems that we don't know about that are going to surface. So that's what I think.
That's a lot of shit. I want you to email me everything that you were just talking about, as far as like, if you like the part that I'm really interested in is all the names and the players, the way that you mentioned them and broke them down. If you can send that to me broken down, so I can individually go and find that myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I want to see that, because that's very.
You want to see it, yeah. And like I said, I've been trying to put a theory video together for probably 2 weeks now, but it's just so heavy. And I have sons, and I want to be careful talking about that book. You know, it's really rough. And literally, Bundy says that's why he got into it. Another thing that I thought was so crazy is in 1122 King, at the end, there's crying and a thud.
Mm-hmm.
In Bundy's case, after he attacked the 4, he went 8 blocks away and climbed into this woman's window and assaulted her. And because the neighbor heard screaming and a thud, he got away and the woman lived. I just am like, what? The last one that was actually assaulted that night, there was a thud. It's almost like he made sure all that was there. And then part of me, I don't know why, part of me thinks that Ethan and Xana were already gone. Even though they've said this, and this, part of me thinks Ethan and Xana were already gone, whether they were gone before they got home or once they got home. Then Kaylee and Maddie came in and caught him in the act, or he hid until they were in their rooms. I don't necessarily put a lot of weight in that car. I just don't. I still have questions about the 4 kids walking by in the body camera down at the field. You know, we had lights hitting the side of buildings at that point. Part of me wonders if in my gut, I don't feel like there were more.
Damn.
But part of me wonders if there wasn't already somebody that roughed them up or tried to get their fun time stuff and maybe messed up and hurt them. And so maybe he came, I don't know. But I'm just saying, it is to a T what he did.
Right.
It's what Bundy did. And then literally page 118 in that book is him talking about why he chose that house. Literally. So that's a lot. Okay.
Yeah, that is a lot.
Sorry, I put it all out there.
Shit to break down, though, with all the names and everything and adding up the way you say. I want to go see it for myself, you know?
Yeah. And absolutely. I will definitely put it out there, but I'm going to tell you, this is how much I believe it. I believe it so much that I tried to call both the prosecutor and the defense attorney because, you know, the FBI doesn't call you back ever.
No, they don't. They never even let me know about that. They never let me know about the freaking
the call.
They let me know that they got it, but they never, you know what I mean? We're like,
right,
it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
I've gotten answers back that said that this doesn't pertain to the case of stuff that I've reported before.
But now they're not doing it at all.
Right.
I really think that, I mean, I called and told him, I'm just throwing it out there. He probably isn't mimicking Bundy, but let's not forget that Bundy escaped twice. Once from the courtroom and once from his cell. He literally climbed up through the ventilation shaft. And the lady was a sergeant. She said, "Thank you so much for calling. I can tell you he is not going anywhere, and thank you, we know." So for her to say we know, like, okay. So I'm just saying, I think that there might be bones or body parts or whatever. Ted Bundy went back to one of the sites at one point and got so close he was able to pick up the earrings and a shoe while the cops were like on the other side of the field.
Right.
And Ted was notorious for going back to the scene. He was also notorious for consuming skin and stuff.
Now,
and
that's that going back to the scene. I want to say that kind of looked like his vehicle that was in the back. There that one news scene where
yes,
guy was standing out front, and then in the back, I forget if that it was named Walenta, that back street. I think it's Walenta. I could be wrong, but that back street, you look back there and you see a white looking Elantra drive by. It looks like an Elantra.
Absolutely.
Now, could I be wrong?
I do.
But it does look like a white Elantra that drives by.
Right. I mean, I absolutely do think that. Another thing that I have an issue with, we got to go because you got so many calls. You know how it says that?
I know, but you were breaking. You did some deep ass research, and I was in. I mean, that's interesting. And just hearing
later, I mean, even during the day and stuff, I raise my grandbaby. So if you ever want to get on live and show, I can show you the PCA and stuff that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But this is so important. You know how Dylan said that she. Oh, here we go. DM stated she originally went to bed on the south side of the second floor. DM stated she was awoken at 4. Now, my question is, how can they say that everybody was in their rooms at least by 4? They can't say that because basically Dylan said that she was sleeping.
Right.
So really, anytime after Dylan went in her room, she doesn't know where everybody was. You know?
Yeah.
So the big part about the second paragraph on page 4 actually says about someone being in the house, which it's a party house. It's okay. Hey, again, I can put this in there, but to anybody listening that's weird like me and just goes and goes, when DM says that she thought she heard someone say, "It's okay, I'm going to help you," keep in mind, Brian Koberger has an uncle named Randall Koberger. I can send you the link, Rev. So his uncle had a near-death experience, and he talks about, literally, it's like a 15-minute video, and it is for sure Brian's uncle, no doubt. He talks about how he thought he was coming back for his twin brother, but then when he got back, he noticed there was darkness in his family. And even like a week before the murders, he says something to the effect of, he tried, but that person was just too locked in there or whatever. So part of me wonders if the "it's okay, I'm going to help you" was almost like a mercy killing. Like he was going in and out of Bundy and, you know, kind of experiencing his uncle's near-death experience. Or if that was Ethan, who just wasn't passed yet, who was just trying to get to her. It could be, you know.
Yeah, that's wild.
So, yeah, that's it.
First, somebody walked into, or Ethan's best friend allegedly walked in, felt through poles. I mean, I've heard all types of different shit. You won't stop hearing.
Right. But it was Ethan. I have a big issue with the fact that they didn't get the footprint. What is it until the second time being there? That's odd to me. There's a lot of stuff about this that is so odd to me. But I will tell you that that Koberger was dressed like Ted Bundy. You know, he didn't cover up his whole entire body.
Now, do you think that based off of what they found, clothing wise, and everything that they released in those unsealed warrants, based off of the description of stuff they found, dark clothing, dark gloves, dark this, dark that, you know what I mean? Like, I'm
gonna be honest.
You just speculate.
I have a feeling that he was wearing a blue petticoat like Bundy. I think, and I don't think he was trying to get away with it. I do not. I really think he got to the point where he said, you know, I'm a sack of meat anyways. He couldn't get any girl's attention. I don't think he was an incel. He probably paid for a prostitute. No judgment. You know, do what you do. But, I mean, I don't think he was an incel. I think he was probably a sexual deviant. The girl who went on a Tinder date with him said when he came back up to the room that he was fine during the movie, but as soon as they got in the room, he was like touching her and tickling her. And then when she said, you know, stop, he said, I'm not doing anything.
Right.
Like that's the same kind of thing that Bundy was doing. And then he followed her to the bathroom in the hallway. Like, I think he literally was trying to drive erratic on the 15th, and I think he wanted to get pulled over on purpose. I'm being so serious right now. When Ted Bundy was caught, he had ran a stop sign and was driving erratic, and a cop stopped him, and he arrested him. And that was when he was finally off the street.
Right.
Part of me wonders if Kohberger was not trying to bring himself down to the smallest area with the least amount of people with the most expected outcome every morning when he woke up, and that's jail. I don't think he was trying to get away with it. I think he left the sheath on purpose. Ted Bundy always screwed with the cops. I think Brian Kohberger was probably responsible for a lot of those loud noise calls because all he had to do was sit outside, Rev, and watch that the cops weren't going to do anything. They weren't going to do anything on those loud calls where 11222 King was being loud, and that's all he needed. I think he flunked out of law enforcement when he was trying to go that avenue in school. When he got out, he became a security guard. He was let go from that job. In school, they said he just couldn't keep up with the expectations. I think he might have had those two friends who died of an overdose. I don't know. Part of me wonders if he was involved. Even the faculty member, when you're dealing with somebody who is trying to make a situation happen so that they can let their soul out, I wouldn't put it past him. I think he came all the way over here to Idaho because it's smack dab in the middle of where Ted Bundy killed pretty much all of his people, besides the Florida with the Kyle Mega murders. A ton of them are right there in that Tri-City with Utah. You know, it's his childhood home is, 5 hours from where Kohberger was at? So, yeah, I'll put some stuff together, but I think if we don't look at that and we don't consider that there's a lot of things
you send that to me in a little bit. I'm going to go back and find like the shows and everything. I'm going to go back and watch every single one of them.
I'll throw links on there and everything for you. Thank you so much for letting me talk. At the end of the day, these families cannot have justice. Justice is them being here. But they can certainly have a lot of good, hard working, good people use their heart and not just their mind. There was a lot of this that really made me feel very uncomfortable. And I think as women, probably the women in the chat would agree, even the men, but the women in the chat would probably agree that it's your greatest fear. You know, your greatest fear is that someone comes in and you can't stop it. So, so there we go. That's what I think. I think that there's body parts somewhere. I think that he bit at least one of them. I think maybe Ethan and Xana were passed ahead of time. That's why they kept saying the 5-hour missing time frame. But then all of a sudden in the PCA, Bethany says that she saw him up till 1:45. You know, that's all of that is too weird. It's too much. I think they're lying to cover up that he's a serial killer. I mean, can you imagine their uproar in Moscow and Pullman after all of that? You're fine. It was targeted. And they're finding bodies. I mean, that would be bad. That would be real bad. So, yeah, I'll send you all that. Thank you for letting me talk.
Absolutely. I appreciate you having a voice in the community. And send me that. I'm gonna have to watch it when I get off here tonight. I'm gonna have to go relax and watch that shit because I want to, because the names and everything adding up, that's interesting. Because if it all adds up in those names, there's no way that, I mean, he was already putting surveys out wanting to know what criminals thought, before and after crimes and shit like that. So that would even blow me away at the slightest if he, was taking.
Oh my gosh, there's one more thing. In the Ted Bundy murders at the Chi Omega, the cops say they were just finishing up a frat fight at the fraternity. And at 1122 King, remember, there was a call at that 3 a.m. time for something involving the students. It's what ended them up in that field, right? Or at Sigma Chi, I'm not sure. But there was something that was involved. Remember at the very beginning, we were like, was it a call to the Sigma Chi? Was it a call to the field? Do you remember that?
Yeah, no, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So that's another correlation. Yeah. Okay. Well, you guys have a blessed night. And before you close your eyes tonight, send out love and prayers to each one of those families and friends and the students. I don't know that the students will ever be the same, the ones who saw it, or the service workers, or the cops, or any of them. The jury will never be the same. But I won't be shocked if Brian Kohberger fires Ann because Ted Bundy represented himself. And I just watched a video tonight from Bed Crime Stories where she's talking about the Daily Mail reported that he's obsessed with watching when he gets TV time. All he wants to do is watch his case. He just watches him over and over and over again.
Right.
So it wouldn't shock me if he up and fired her and tried to run his own case.
He's probably watching.
Because that's what Ted did.
I would think he's watching everything that he could possibly watch while he's locked up, too.
Well, he's probably watching you, especially since he called you.
Well, I don't know. Can they watch YouTube in there? I don't know.
I don't know. You never know.
Watching news coverage on himself. I mean, I've already heard.
Right. I
mean, that doesn't surprise.
Well, listen, you guys take care, and I've got 3 or 4 notebooks just absolutely filled with stuff, so I'm not sure how I'll send it to you, but I could at least send you links at a bare minimum.
Yeah.
Just the links and tell you, hey, about this time, look at this, and hopefully by the end of the week I'll have a video put out with just the facts and not details, because it's bad, very bad. What he did to the girl, the main target, what he did to her is horrific. And so part of me says, it's not that he didn't call that a sex crime, but he used another object and then also like bit her chest and stuff.
Right.
And like pulled it off. So we're talking like, I expect that might be what they see when they start talking about this. It might be way more than anybody even can imagine. So.
Well, thank you for calling, and I appreciate you having a voice in the community. And send that shit to my email, because I
sure will.
I want to check out, like movie wise and everything that you broke down. Because that's the part that I'm very interested in checking out.
You got it. I'll send it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you calling.
Okay.
God bless you, man.
All right. Take care. You too.
Bye-bye. Shout out to her, man. God bless her. People want to hear this call, or some people didn't hear this already. All right, so I don't know. I mean, I can play it, but call in 219-885-9693. The video is that people are talking about. It's labeled WSU mom Paula says Pullman and Moscow are covering up murders. Now go to it's the last video I uploaded if you want to check it out. 951, what's going on? You're live.
Buddy, my brother.
What's going on, Papa? How you doing, man?
Hey, I definitely, the lady had me a lot of the way until she started saying he wanted to get caught.
Right. Yeah, there's no way he wanted to get caught.
No fucking way did this prick want to get caught. No way. No way. He was just, and then to say he was a lucky guy, this guy was the most unluckiest guy around. Because your car is seen, or, by their house, your phone goes off at a certain time. Really, you drop the fucking sheet. I mean, you're at it. This guy was the most unluckiest guy, and for being I said this a long time ago about American Psycho. I don't remember. Do you remember I said something about American Psycho? I don't even remember exactly what I said.
To be honest, I don't remember, but you can break it down though.
Yeah, I don't really remember, but he just reminded me of the American Psycho killer, and absolutely Ted Bundy.
I do remember you mentioning Bundy 100%.
Yeah, absolutely Ted Bundy. I mean, look, I like horror shows. I like Halloween, Friday the 13th. You put anything with slasher movies, I love all that shit. I used to sleep to Dark Shadows. Okay, I had to go to sleep with fucking Dark Shadows on, otherwise I couldn't sleep. I'm a psycho myself, you know.
Oh my God!
But of course,
you just say you're a psycho yourself.
Of course, yeah.
Damn, man, I gotta lock my doors. Matter of fact, I gotta put a combination lock on every single fucking window in this bad boy.
Don't let me have to come there and slap your hat off your fucking head. No. Don't let me have to do that.
Man, don't make me slap the bed off your back. So I mean, hey, look, what'd you think about that phone call?
Wait a minute. Of course, this guy is watching all these Bundy movies and Gacy movies, and of course he's watching all that shit. You know, he is a teacher of this stuff,
right?
Plus, in the back of his mind, this is a fantasy he wanted to fulfill. So of course he's going to watch this stuff. And as far as watching himself, wouldn't you? I mean, I would want to know everything everybody's saying about me. Everything. Whatever I could, I would be watching myself. Just to know what everybody's saying. Come on, you're going to sit in the cell all by yourself, twiddling your fucking thumbs, and don't you want to know what the public is saying and thinking and all this shit?
The fuck did you just say?
Damn.
I would. But
Papa Sal Pal, what'd you think about that WSU phone call? You think it's horseshit? Shoot it straight. Because I see you in Discord and I see that you say, sir, I don't know what the fuck is going on and this and that. What did you think? Did you listen to that phone call from start to finish? What did you think about what the woman was saying in there about corruption and through Pullman in Moscow? I mean, because I personally don't know. I mean, I know there's corruption in America. Obviously, there's corruption in America. I mean, how many cases have there been corruption? I'll just name one that there's been a lot of corruption, and that's Stephen Avery. Now, is there corruption? Do you think there's corruption in Moscow through, all the way up to Pullman? Do you think they intertwine? Do you think there's an issue there?
I've listened to that lady maybe 2 or 3 times. I listened to her about 2 or 3 times on your show. I listened to that guy with the red beard and glasses. I listened to her a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm with this corruption stuff, I'm sure there's some kind of corruption in every city, okay? Mm-hmm. I'm sure. Cartels, I know everybody is going to hate me for this, but no, I don't believe it was the cartels either.
Nobody's going to hate you for drugs. It's your opinion, man. As long as you believe what you're telling me, I respect it.
Right. This is just me talking, okay? This is what I don't believe in the cartels. I just as far as him having somebody else help him, no. This fucking prick went into that place all by himself and slaughtered those people. Okay? I believe that from the beginning. and I still believe it now, even with all the bullshit that's been coming out. He is the one guy alone that did this. Otherwise, the police would have had somebody else arrested already.
Right.
They would have had somebody arrested already.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way. I mean, cartels and accomplices and 3 people in the house. He was the driver. Get the fuck out of here. No. This guy circled the place. He did his broken fucking U-turn. He was working himself up to doing it. He went around the house a couple of times and then decided to go in. And as far as the DoorDash guy goes, that's one lucky motherfucker. Okay? The DoorDash guy just happened to be at the right place at the wrong time. Or really, because he got away, nothing happened to him. He made out like a bandit. Okay?
My question, see, the thing that I'm wondering about, since they found a gun, they found that he
in his house,
or wherever they found it, right? Did he have that gun on him, and was he holding them at gunpoint? You know what I mean? That's another thing that I think. Like, did he hold him at gunpoint so because he had like this fetish for stabbing people? I don't know. I think about shit like that after I seen that gun that was, posted in there. Because what do most people kill people with today? Guns, right?
Right.
They kill
this
people with guns.
A knife is up close and personal.
Exactly, and that's like what up close and personal problem did he have with them? You know what I mean? It was this a sick obsession? I don't know, man. It's I don't know.
I know. There's certain things we're not going to know. The gun thing, it makes sense. Get the fuck down. And he's pointing a gun at you, and then he starts slicing you and stabbing you. I don't know about the gun thing. But you never know. And we're not going to know until the trial comes out,
Right.
We're never going to know these things. So, I don't know. I just had to get my 2 cents in there, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt.
The lady caller was great. Before me. And she had me up until he wanted to get caught. No way. He did not want to get caught. And you want to know what else is blowing me away too?
What's that?
Remember when I told you when he walked into the courthouse, he looked like a student. He didn't look like that crazed monster that we've seen. And I told you that too. I go, you know what? This guy, and even Steve, the father, said it when the reporter said, "How did it feel looking him eye to eye?" He said, he wasn't the monster I thought he would be. And I'll bet you, come time of the trial, they're going to spit shine this motherfucker up. He's going to look like the grad student he should have been. He's not going to look like no monster. He's going to just be, the hair's going to be done. She's probably going to get fucking all made up and shit. Nice suit. He's not going to look like a killer when he goes to court. Guaranteed. Remember, I said that. Remember.
Yeah.
Not. He's going to look like a little boy. He's going to look like a little college cocksucker that he is. I can't help it. I got to curse this guy out because
he said, I curse this guy out.
I can't help it. When I think of what he did to these people, especially today, I watched this thing. They had pictures and videos of the girls.
Mm-hmm.
Who the fuck is that? Head off the back. Is that Lana?
Where? Yeah, there's plenty of people in here right now. I mean,
Wow, I'm getting stage fright. No, listen. I watched a video of them with the pictures of the girls and videos of them laughing and voting and playing around. That shit kills me. It kills me.
We watched it. Did you watch the special last night? We watched it in Discord, the ID special. And it really was the same shit. Though I mean, they talked about Brian scrubbing his car down, that the FBI agents or whatever were watching him, and they were watching him scrub his car from inside out. Why didn't they grab him as he was cleaning his car from inside out? Did they not have that warrant at the time? Were they waiting on the DNA? Like, I don't understand why they didn't grab him when he was wiping his car down. And because if you're wiping your car down, in my personal opinion, you're trying to either hide evidence or you're just a regular person cleaning your shit. So it's from what my theory would be, he'd be cleaning the evidence or anything that could, blood, anything. That's why I said, why didn't they grab him then?
Because they were waiting for the go.
Right. That's what I'm thinking.
You know what I mean? And come on, you break into this guy's house, and you see him putting his trash in Ziploc bags. I mean, who the fuck does that? Who the fuck does that? Who goes into the trash and puts the stuff that whatever he thought his DNA was going to be on in Ziploc bags, and then goes and puts it in people's trashes, his neighbor's trashes? Who the fuck does that?
Yeah,
at 4 o'clock in the morning. Come on.
It is. It's weird. It's all weird.
I mean, the guy's definitely weird. I don't know. But okay, I got this all off my chest. I think I could sleep tonight now.
Can't you?
Damn!
Go ahead and hit him with a
finish him.
You got to give me a. Oh my God.
Oh my God!
There you go.
No doubt, Papa.
Yeah.
I appreciate you calling in, Bubba. Now you can sleep. Sleep on that new comfortable bed you got, man.
Now I could sleep. Now I could sleep on my new comfortable mattress. Yep.
Sleep on your new comfortable mattress, and I appreciate you calling.
No, I got everything off my. Yeah, and I got to talk to my brother. I love you, pal.
Love you too, pal. You already know. You already know, man. The neighborhood, man. The family neighborhood. You know what's up.
That's right. That's right.
Well, I got my board up behind me. Well, I got my board up to where I can hang it. You know what I mean? Write my notes down, my goals, so I can stay on track. Because I'm getting my YouTube schedule right. So tonight, like I'm planning. I'm trying to get back on my day schedule, to where I'm live during the day, because I've noticed not like lately, Papa, so I've been having insomnia, so I've been having trouble sleeping. I'm like falling asleep at 10 a.m. and shit. So it's like, I'm about to stay up and go to bed tomorrow night at 8 p.m.
Yeah. Well,
that's what I'm about to do today.
You got to get your times together. Yeah,
I'm getting back on schedule. I'm getting back on track, man.
Yeah.
My timing's been all messed up. I mean, my sleep schedule's been all over the place.
I got to instant message you about some stuff that I don't understand, that's going on in Discord. And, I don't think I should. I want to talk to you privately about it.
Yeah, hit me up. Let me know what you think, man. There's all different types of threads. I know Discord can be confusing because there's like 15 different threads and 25 different conversations going on at one time. But yeah, definitely instant message me on there. I'll talk to you. I'll be looking for it.
Thanks, pal. Thank you.
All right, Papa Sal. I love you, pal. If you fall asleep from that Ambien, I know you got to take your nightly Ambien, and you probably already took it.
No, I'm gonna right now. I'm gonna now, and you should ask the doc for it too. That might help you sleep at the right time.
Well, I'm getting melatonin, so I'm gonna get some melatonin. If melatonin don't work, then
I take Ambien, 4 Tylenol PMs, and a fucking tramadol or whatever the hell it's called. I sleep. I sleep good. All right,
Papa, I love you, man. Get some sleep. And I see you. I know you'll be up early, bright and early, with your coffee in your hand, watching probably the classic Forensic Files from back in 1998.
Love it.
I love you, pal. Take it easy, Bubba.
Okay, guys. Everybody,
Make
have
sure
a good night.
make sure you lock your damn doors before you take that damn Ambien and forget your windows.
I
They're up right now.
I keep my door open. I'm waiting for somebody to come in. I'm just waiting.
my God!
Hey,
But I
don't get
think
back here
everybody
taking a
should
shit. Get
lock their
down.
doors.
No doubt, Papa Pal. I call you Papa Pal. Papa Pal.
Papa Pal.
Pal. Sal. My Bubba. I appreciate you. Rep Gang Father,
Right.
man. I love you, pal. Be easy, and I'll talk to you soon. All right, man?
Good night, pal.
Lock your door, sir.
Yes, sir.
Later. Shout out to Papa Sal, man. Papa Sal. Hold up. I just almost accidentally called somebody. He said, "This is what I deal with NYC meatheads like this." NYC meatheads. Hey, he's from West Virginia, man. He just sounds like he's from NYC. I'm just playing. Hold up. They would have arrested by now, in my opinion. Let me see this real quick. And phone yesterday. We find. All right, so here it is. Some people may not have heard it. Let me know what you think. Call in. Found out that the young lady's okay. You was talking to me about Pullman and stuff like that. So what? I know you was getting at some things in that phone call. I just wanted to call back and touch base with you on that. Wow, I really want to hear what you got to say. I'm gonna let you get it all out.
Well, CT these young adults, let me put it like that. But as I said, I say children because my sons, they 40s and, but they still babies to me.
Yo, put one in the chat if you think I should buy a T-Rex costume and do a long stream in a T-Rex costume. She done called me T-Rex like 80 times in this video. So I'm like, damn, I might as well just buy a T-Rex outfit. So many people be calling me T-Rex. So I'm like, damn. That takes me back to when I was 5 years old and would go to Pennsylvania and Driftwood and dance on my grandmother's I would go out there and when it was raining and call it the rain dance and say, I'm a T-Rex. I remember that shit when I was 5 years old. So I'm about to get a T-Rex costume and sit up on it.
But anyway, these children here, we got to have fun that are scared to talk. Because when you're dealing with crooked officials, just like the gag order, what sense do you think that makes? What do you think they have a gag order here? Because they want them to shut up. But it's against our Constitution of the United States of America that you tell me to shut my mouth. These children are scared because, see, half of those kids knew that something was going to happen because it is a small colony. And everybody talk, everybody know each other. Okay, all the children over here in Pullman know the children. And as I said, sorry when I say children, I'm just used to that because I am from the South.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but these children, and I'm fearful for the ones, and if we don't do something to them, Rex, and what I mean by do something to them, get to the bottom of some of this, and some of these people that have...
You're right, Avion. They can't wipe blood down. You cannot wipe blood down. Light that whole shit up with aluminum.
Been in power for all these years. It's going to be some more deaths in Idaho. And you know why?
Mm-hmm.
It's called shut down. Shut your mouth.
Wow.
That's what it's called. Shut your mouth. And Kaylee and Maddie got in trouble because they were running their mouth.
That's crazy. And I don't know what the word is around town or anything that you're hearing, but shut your mouth. Like, did they see something they weren't supposed to see? Or, you know what I mean? That's the thing.
Well, see, what has happened is when you live in a place for 2 years and you be around certain people and things, you learn and find out things.
You're right about that.
And the people that are around here that know, as I said, this half of these young adults are scared to death. They scared to talk. But as I said, they got the gag order because they don't want you talking. They do not want them. What happens when you communicate? You find out things, don't you?
I've been talking to a few people in my Discord, and they, one thing that I found out is they scrubbed information from some of these victims. Like some of them don't even show up. There's no death certificate. So allegedly, there's no death certificate for Ethan that we couldn't find it. You know what I mean? It was just, it's odd to me.
They're not letting all of this information out. They don't want it told.
It's just it's weird.
It is. And I'm checking.
Triple blacks. They need to release Brian's interrogation. So let's bring up Brian's interrogation. There really probably wasn't no interrogation because once you say lawyer, all that interrogation shit's out the window. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think would be an interrogation with Brian. The dudes went to law, you know what I mean? He went to law school and all this other shit, like, and was dealing with studying criminology. Like that dude definitely said, I want a lawyer. Didn't speak on anything. So, you know, that means the evidence has got to beat your ass. The evidence has got to knock you off the walls. That's what he did. I guarantee he lawyered up. He didn't. There was no, you know, let's sit down and talk. None of that shit. The food's great in Idaho. The grocery shopping is good in Idaho.
This cartel up here, they ain't no joke.
Drama of the house.
They are not no joke.
That's crazy. The cartel. So I don't know. Like you live in a town in Pullman. Like, is it? Have you heard of them around? What's the word about them?
Well, the thing is, as I said, the children have told me, the ones, see, because as I said, my youngest child is 30 years old. I got 3 sons and 1 daughter. Thank you. You see what I mean? So, I try not to say too much because my sons, they run a business here. Okay, my son, he's a person. Okay, tell you this. Okay, you remember when that guy got killed?
Which one?
I'm not thinking name. Right here in Pullman.
Brent Kopeka?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am,
okay.
I do.
Okay. Am I lying, T-REV?
Absolutely not.
Okay, listen, check this out. When he got shot, right, my son went to the brief conference. My son went, right. He was called because when they found BK Hamburger Friday night, did he have a camera on the street? So my son called me, which is because that's the street I live on. And so my son said, no, I don't have a camera on the street. Why would I? I'm not concerned about people that are on the street. It's just they pull up on my business, right? So anywho, my son went to the briefing. So he said, Mom, you want to go to the briefing? I said, no, son. It's a little bit early. I haven't had my coffee yet. You go ahead and get back with me. So he went. You know what he told me when he came back?
What did he tell you, man?
He said, Mom, it's something fishy about that shit. For him to say that, that's what he thought. But I felt it. And what happened was I got a friend whose daughter is like a professor type somebody at WSU. You know, they work with the children, that type of thing.
Oh, my God. Damn. Professor?
Yeah, at WSU. She actually was, her office was next door to his. Okay, so when the shooting thing happened, I was talking to her, and she said, girl, some of the kids are saying, she said, we can't, now, why do you think we can't get the 911 call? Who called?
Right. Who did call? We've been asking that question for ever since it happened.
But how can this be legal? You can't get information about anything.
Yeah, then you're right. And you know what? I was just talking to somebody in my Discord. She goes by the name of No Chains on YouTube, and she just she was putting me onto information that is being scrubbed that nobody can get a hold of or touch, or you can't even find it. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, because you're changing them and making it up. And I mean, this is hard to believe, but it's true, T-REV. They are washboarding, cleaning up, scrubbing. But see, I'm going to tell you, in small towns, it's not a whole lot of secrets, unless it's your own personal secrets. But just every day walking around and living in these little bitty small towns, it's a lot goes on. And as I said, they're hiding all this information. So I said to my son, I said, well, what did you think was fishy about it? Well, he said, first of all, they brushed me off because, of course, my son gets to ask questions, whatever. He said the brush off, he said I wasn't comfortable with the brush off on exactly what happened. And they won't talk about the 911 call, what was said, I can't get it. And they shut that down so quick. But back to the professor that works over there, he said, well, some of my students are saying something different other than what they're saying happened. Now, they said he had 2 roommates. Where they at? We never did see them.
And you being in Pullman, I don't know how long you've been there. So you moved from Vancouver, Washington to Pullman, Washington. Kathy Baker says she's found. I found all death certificates. You all are nuts. Show them. Really, if I was you, show them. Show them. Some people said they can't find them. If you found them, you found them. You hear that? No Change. She said she found the death certificates that everybody's nuts. Well, first of all, I'll tell you one thing. I didn't go and research no death certificates, so I can't tell you if there is death certificates or not because I didn't go as far as looking for death certificates for all four of them. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't go that far, never dug in that far. That's just the word that I've heard. I've never went and looked for myself, so I can't say that's never came out of my mouth that, hey, I went and looked with my own two eyes and looked up every single one of their names and can't find death certificates. I'm just speaking on and speculating on what I heard. Now, somebody tells me they couldn't find it, which about 4 or 5 people said, hey, Ethan's death certificate, you can't find it, which I've been told by, like I said, 4 or 5 people. I don't know. That's what is it true? Where do I go find a death certificate? I don't even know how to find a death certificate. I could probably tell you how many ounces are in a pound before I could tell you where to find a death certificate on somebody at. You know what I mean? And how long have you been in Pullman?
I've been here 8 years now.
You're familiar with the town.
Very, very, very. I'm telling you, I'm not just talking on the side of my neck, T-REV. And I was going to invite you. You come down here anytime. And see, I can give you information about exactly.
No, Kathy, I know you didn't say me. I know you didn't say me. I'm saying in general, I don't even know how to find the damn death certificate. And that's me being honest. I don't know how to find a damn death certificate, but people were talking about it. It's been talked about so much that Ethan's death certificate hasn't been found. Just a lot from what I've read and people that I've talked to. I can't find his death certificate. There's something weird going on here. Information is being scrubbed. And there's a lot more stuff that I don't remember that they said, can't be found. So do I know? No, I don't. For 100% fact, I don't know if that's the truth or not. But in general, when you see multiple people saying that, it seems to be a trend. But hey, I don't even know where to go find it. If you can let me know where to go find it, I'll go look myself right here, right now on this live.
Exactly who I am, my sons, their business, but I don't want it out on the line. Because I don't want them to have trouble. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am. I absolutely do. If you want to tell me that on the side, that's fine. But I don't want you to put that, I want you to talk about what you want to talk about, but I don't want you to put yourself in harm's way or be, you know what I mean? I don't want you to feel threatened in any way. And I would never do that and have put you into that position.
I just don't want my children, you see what I mean? Because as I said, my son, he's somebody in Pullman.
Yes, ma'am.
So I don't want any heat or anything on him.
Absolutely.
Just like I said, I'm not scared of them. And I know what they're up to. I have seen it. It is so many murders in Idaho that have not been they just drop it. It'll get out. Okay, dude drowned by the pond. Okay, he was drunk by. Okay, that's it. That's not it.
Wow.
Okay, Hannah, she overdosed. Okay, that's it. That's over. Okay, that's it.
That's crazy.
Don't want to let go their drug trafficking.
Ooh, so I mean, is the word, have you heard around it is really drug trafficking going down like that in Pullman to maybe Moscow and it's out of hand?
Let me answer that question. Okay, how many of them children that died who parents had drug charges?
Damn near all of them.
There you go. That tells you something, don't it?
That tells me, oh my God, like I always hit. You are.
Yeah, I like that little phrase. I wonder if T-Rex, if I ever get to talk to him, is he gonna play that when I'm talking?
I did. I played it just now. I'm keeping you anonymous because you asked me that. I'm gonna keep it that way. Just the connection that I've had with the Idaho 4 from the start and everything in general.
Oh, I live in nobody knows that. And the thing about it is, I don't think they're gonna. You know how they had that Murdoch, all that shit on there? Let me tell you something. Here, watch and see. They're not going to let that trial be in public, seen. I'm sorry. I can't believe they're going to allow it.
Do you think they'll do a public trial for Koberger?
Because it's going to bring out a few things. Because I'm going to tell you something. They got somebody in protective custody. But they didn't want the girls in protective custody, because if they had went and told what they know, they would have had to go in protective custody.
How many people are in protective custody? Have you heard the word going around town?
They already had one. Like, see, that's why I can't be on live and all that, because as I said, I can't drop no heat to my sons. Them, they got their own business.
You definitely gotta keep the baby safe.
You know what I mean? Because it ain't about me. Because like I said, I don't have no problem with them. I'm a senior citizen and I live in Pullman. But I got to keep my children under cover. Because, see, my son, he's in music like you. Because, see, they love to try to put my son in the newspaper. And, see, I talk to police and officials here. And I call the newspaper. I said, wait a minute. Stop. Wait. Let me help you with this. Don't you write shit about my son if you have not found out the facts. Because I'm like you. Give me the receipts.
Yeah, give me receipts because I got to see. Damn, you dropping some crazy, some bombs on here. And
you see, I call you 900 times.
I seen it. And that's why I said I got to give this woman her time.
I keep calling until I get a hold of him because I can trust him.
Yeah.
I don't really want to talk to him. He's been in this case long enough that he can understand what I'm dropping. They'll clean the paperwork up. Now, here's another drop. Have you looked into the drug trafficking that goes on through here? Peep on a little bit of that.
Okay.
Okay, you know how you go on these lines and you can get like what the police Pullman have checked out and did and arrested and stopped, and you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And the same way in Moscow. Check some of that trafficking out. And they've been there for so long.
When I heard you talk last night, I was like, man, she knows some stuff.
I'm just feeling upset about these children. Because as I said, when you're dealing with old crows, they got to go and hide. And they got to hide. They got to be quiet. They're no match.
Mm.
You know, like with your skills, you have skills. So people that don't even have anywhere near the skills that you have, they're no match for you.
Yes, ma'am.
And these young college children are no match for the people that they're dealing with. Write this down.
Okay.
You mark my words. You know how the old people say. You mark my words. You see how long it's going to be before he even get back in court. And listen, if this don't get busted wide open and some of them don't get taken down and they don't really look into them, because this is not about these children. They're dead. They're gone. And not to, throw no hardship on nobody because I understand. But this thing is bigger than them.
Mm.
And it's going to take some investigating, because mark my word, this is what I want to say. This is what I'm afraid of. This is why I called you continuously until I can talk to you. If they don't watch this, see, don't somebody else be dead. I don't want somebody else's baby to end up dead. They don't want to let go their good thing, their money. Because there's some payoffs going on around here. You hear me? Because like I said, I don't keep notes or anything like that. I just know what I know. Okay. And when I had first decided to move up here with my children, because my children went to WSU, and I had a career in life in Vancouver because that's where I raised my children. But then after I retired, I decided I'm going to move up here with them. So the year that I came, or I had been here 2 years, so one of them, but they had a police officer right here in Pullman, Washington, raping college girls. And one girl finally was brave enough to speak out on it. Okay, the police didn't want to believe it, which I ain't going to say it like that. Really, they didn't want it out. They didn't want it known. And do you know it took another police officer to snitch on his ass to even get him in court.
Damn.
And then after they got his ass in court, look it up. After they got his ass in court, it was some technicality and it was throughout and they had to do a retrial. And the young girl was scared. And I ain't going to say how she was so scared. But you understand what I'm talking about. That's why I want to talk to you, because you get some of what I'm saying.
Mm.
And she got so scared until she wouldn't go back to court.
Damn. That's deep.
Check out how they swing these polices from Pullman to Moscow, from Moscow to Pullman. When they do their crimes, they just switch them out, switch them around.
So would you say from everything and being around there, and you say you're in your 60s, right, man?
Yes, I am.
Now, you would say there's corruption 100% between Pullman and Moscow?
100. Because let me give you a fact right here. Small towns, there's always corruption because they're a small entity. You understand what I'm saying? It's not real big. So it's a small network. Look up the crimes in either one of these states. And the part that is getting on my nerve is because it ends in death. They die. Okay, we just had a boy drop dead at WSU. How much news did you hear about that?
Zero.
And And guess what happened? The paperwork got fixed and it's done and it's over. And don't ask us about it because it's settled.
Oh my God!
Dropping some bombs a day.
I'm just hot about it. There's no match for the people that they're dealing with. This shit is real. I remember one time I was listening to your podcast because I really don't listen to others because I kind of stay focused on one.
Yes, ma'am.
Because you just go ahead and hit out there, in a lot of areas. So I don't need like 6, 7, 8, 9, and especially when I live here. So I remember you were talking about one time you had said that I don't know how you got the information or whoever had said it, and they were talking about Mr. Fry.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. You heard what I said, right?
Yes.
Check how long he's been there. And let me tell you something. Just like my mama used to teach me, when there's one bad apple, there's some more in there. It ain't just one. Now, ain't that some shit?
You got to have a support system. This is just as much on the good side as just as much on the bad side. You got to have a support system to keep corruption going. You know what I mean? If there's some deep corruption, best believe there's more than one player. You know what I mean?
That's what it's about. There's more than one apple, and they're shutting it down just like that boy that drowned over there in a damn creek. That's the shit I'm talking about. Every damn thing is suicidal. They committed suicide, accidental death. You know what I mean? And then it's shut down. That Hannah shit, I was so glad when the FBI came. Because did you hear what Moscow police said when the shit first broke out? We don't need no FBI. The FBI better get their ass down here right now.
Now, did you say your kids went to WSU? And I'm not asking you for their name, but you said they went there, or one of them?
Yes, more than one.
Yeah, that's so they've been inside. They're familiar with the area and they're familiar. Yeah,
my son. Look, my son has. When they shot that man, I told you my son went. He sent me video pictures. I got pictures of the SWAT team there.
Oh my God!
He was on scene.
Yes. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
And went to the briefing. Because when shit go down in Pullman, he is the potential, person. And he gets access to a lot of that stuff. When my son came back and told me, Mama, it's some fishy shit. He said, that's all I got to say about that. That shit didn't set with me. As I said, I'm worried about some more of them children to come up unalived.
For sure.
Because they will kill you before they want to be identified. But here it is, a grown man, old grown man. How is he living in a apartment with college children? Where are they? I'm talking about he was threatening them.
Right.
Now, let me tell you what happened when it first came out. They allegedly said they got a call from some college children, and they changed the story because when I first heard the story said after they got out of the house, they called 911. Now, they didn't went to breakfast, had coffee. You ain't scared. Did you hear what I said? Yes. If you don't call the popo, you ain't that scared. You get it?
Yeah, for sure.
You get it? They said the roommates called the police. But as I said, my boo thing, my girlfriend, her daughter works at WSU. And she said that wasn't what the children were saying. See, but now they took a paintbrush and covered it up.
They're covering their tracks.
Yes. And as I said, their way of handling things is to unalive you if you know too much, talking too much. Okay. And I do believe there's more than 2 in protected custody. Because I'm going to tell you something, I listen to how people say, well, because I'm going to tell you, who was real right as a parent?
Who's that?
Kayla's dad.
Yes.
When him and he look, Jack, her ex-boyfriend, let me tell you something. I would not say that boy had something to do with their death, but he know about it. So in other words, my point is he's holding information if he has not told his part. Now, I've been dating and married and all that. Let me tell you something. It ain't a man in the world that say they care about a woman. Gonna call them 10 times and they don't answer. You tell me you sleep all you want to, but my experience tell me you's a lie. But it's thicker than mud. Like I said, I'll give you my information privately, and like I said, we can keep in touch. Some people, like I said, he talk. Nothing is a secret in a little old small town when it's big. Private, small things, yeah. But big things, they talk.
For sure.
And those that telling something, they got to go in protected custody because they know who they telling on. That's why I know it's more than one. The word had went out that the college children around in Moscow knew that they were going to get talked to. They were supposed to be dealt with, roughed up. That was the word the children were using. And I'm sorry I keep saying children, but you know, the young college adults. They knew that they supposed to got dealt with, handled, roughed up, but it ended up too. And I'm going to tell you something, the cartel is mad at his ass because he put a flashlight on Moscow. Moscow is not happy right now. And they look quiet, sweet town.
You said they was comfortable in the quiet, sweet town. They mad because of the flashlight that's being put on. Damn, that's crazy. That's heavy.
But I'm giving it to you straight and real.
So there's allegedly some corruption out there and it's deep. It runs, in the cartel.
As I said, just check out the trafficking from, I don't really have a map right now, but you start with Pullman and you work yourself to Moscow and you keep on out to all these towns where all of them live. It's a region, it's a connect. You got a lookout guy?
Do I have one?
Yeah.
Oh.
Do I have one? Hell no. I don't have no lookout guy. I look out for my damn self. And if you need one, there's some bull going on.
Right, exactly. If you got a lookout guy, you definitely doing something.
You see what I mean? You ain't just eating apples, having lunch.
You got a lookout guy. You definitely got more than one lookout guy too. It's a whole team of lookout guys.
Thank you. That's why I say if we got one or two corrupt, there's 3 or 4 more of them in there with them. Because let me tell you something. Let's count how many times the Popo went to that apartment, that house.
Oh my goodness! I mean, how many body cam videos have we seen there at that house and then near the house?
Come on now, you think it's a coincidence? Okay, is anybody invested the boys and all the ones that was out there walking around?
Yeah, I haven't even really heard many of their names, to be honest with you. Them dudes
in
the field, right?
Yeah, right from them. And during the time,
yes,
those wee hours of the night, okay?
Yes,
but they're not happy with him because it's supposed to have been 2 roughed up, not 4 dead. You get it? But he got put in a position where 2 more had to go.
Then the University of Idaho bought the house and they're demolishing it?
No, actually, they're saying here that the owner donated it. You don't find that fishy? Ever heard of a murder scene being destroyed before the jury even go to look at it? But let me tell you something else. That's some more deep shit that needs to be looked at. Who owns which houses? Because that's a ring of them too.
Right.
Them college houses.
Yes, ma'am.
And places. It's a trail. It's a trail. It's huge. And they doing some shuffling around here. But I don't want to see anyone else to come up unalived. Listen, my son deals with WSU students and Moscow students because they hang out together. You understand? They're right next door.
Right.
Okay. You can walk from now, I would want to do it, but you could walk from Pullman to Moscow.
Because, what is the 9? It's like 9 miles from where Brian was, but it's probably even a closer point.
I told you he lived down the street from me.
Damn, his apartment complex right down the street from you.
Yes, and when I got here, whatever his dang name is, Copacker and Hamburger, all 3 of them lived like throw a rock and you could hit each other buildings.
So the word around town is that the Idaho 4 case has just got a lot of corruption going on with it. Is that what you're letting me know that that's going on?
That's exactly what I'm telling you, and that's why we have a gag order. They do not want the communications to get out because if it get out, it's gonna leak like water.
Does it intertwine? Does it intertwine with Pullman between both?
Yes, if you look. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Because they flip and flop. When they get in trouble over there and they get all spotlight on them, they move them around to another county. But as I said, you look into the drugs, because this to be such a small town, there's too many damn drugs coming through here. You look in the places where, what's DL's boyfriend name?
Dylan, what was it? You said
You know who I'm talking about?
Quinn?
Her boyfriend.
Quinn, something like that.
Look at the town he lives in.
Okay.
Check it out. See how far is it from Moscow?
Okay.
And the drug connecting to the connect, because that's how they all connect. And it's a mess. Now I'm going to Moscow today. Well, I'm going over there actually to get me some cigarettes because I go over to the little smoke shop.
Right. Is it cheaper? Is it cheaper between you both?
It is cheaper because the cost of living there, their wages are low. So their prices are thinner, than other places. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Now, other than that, because I love the way Hamburger said, that little line bullshit, shopping is great. Shopping ain't hit no shit over there. They must have shopped at. They got one little ass mall and a couple of grocery stores. They have like a mall, you know how you have Ross and you have,
Oh yeah,
type of stores in the mall. They have one and it's on the drag. It's on the strip. That's what they call it, the drag.
Is there anything else you would like to put out there for the people to hear? Because I'm gonna save your number and talk to you off the air. And
yeah, well, I want them to know we need some help down here because the outsiders can't help us. They gonna hurt us.
So you want to put the message out there? Y'all need some help down there. And more towards the good people. You need help from the good people because there's too much bad going on.
Thank you.
Okay.
And they covering and hiding everything. And when I had first came in, there was a case where you know how the police department or whatever organization you work for, you get like credit cards, you know what I mean? Spending costs, type of thing, right?
Yeah.
And so the police had gotten those. And so they had this one policeman, he was black, right? And the other three that was involved in it, they were white. Well, he sued them for discrimination because they fired him, but the other three got promoted.
Damn.
It's the exact same thing that he did.
Oh my God.
That ain't right at all.
And somebody need to check out that helper here. I don't know what she is, but look and see how much money she makes. Work for the police department. I don't give a damn what state you live in. You don't make that much money unless you got some corruption going on. You getting paid for other than just policing. But they promoted. She just got a promotion. Okay. And look at how many done left. See, that's another red flag.
Have you heard anything around town about? Because I wanted to mention this to you before we get off here. Do you hear anything about this Brett Payne? Because I'm getting word that the person that does some research that talks to me is telling me they can't find nothing on Mr. Payne.
Yeah, of course not. Didn't I say we got a paintbrush?
Yep, you did say they got a paintbrush out there.
And you can change the color anytime you get ready. Come on. And anytime, you gonna get a stop sign because they got it locked down. They got it locked in. This some deep shit. And I want you to know how deep this shit is. This ain't no baby shit. This how rollers here. Now, we had to have the federal government tell Mr. Fry, utilize we coming.
We may be in danger, putting this out.
Boy, I'm trying to tell you, and we legal. We don't want to have to do nothing.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? We not no gangsters. We not.
Right.
But now, if you got to protect yourself, come on now. That's why I can't put my son's name out there because he's a household name.
Okay, so he's well known around there.
Very, very, very.
Okay, I'll leave it at that.
Okay, and because of all the corruption, okay, hint, the 5 police killed that boy. So I had to take my sons away because I didn't want them to become victims. It's why I moved to the Northwest to raise them here. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And due to all that corruption, you can't reach them. It takes some investigations, some higher powers. You're gonna need the Lord. But if you tell on them people, you have to go in protective custody. Did you hear what I said?
If you tell on them people, you have to go into protective custody. There's no other way about it.
No other way about it. You can't just go to yak. I'm praying every second and every day. We don't have enough.
I was playing it because people asked me to replay it. So there were some people in here that haven't heard it. They asked me to play it. I'm playing it, and then you call.
The unlive, accident, suicide, DL, A lot of people don't know, but DL mama and daddy lawyers.
Oh.
Look at some of their capital, how much money they got.
You know, sometimes people want to ask questions. I don't know which ones you want to answer. And that's, you know.
Let me tell you why I don't really want it known, as I said to you, because of my children. Okay, my sons would be mad at me.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I mean? They would be upset with me for calling you.
Right.
Calling you, talking. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I don't just want to be, you know what I'm saying, displeasing to them, putting their names and them out there. But I can't, you know what I mean? I can't really spotlight them.
I definitely understand that.
But, you know, like I said, it ain't like, you know, they're going to do something to me or whatever. Because, you know, my children are very respectful. And my children know I'm the mother. And I can tell my children, shut up, boy, I'm your mama. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
But I just don't want to, as I said, throw them out there.
You know, I definitely get that for 100%, especially when it comes down to shit this deep. Because if somebody else can go missing, then who's to say they can't?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? And they licensed. And I told them, hell, you packing, I'm packing. What the hell? What you talking about?
Damn right.
Just like, okay, you take Seattle. Corrupt as hell. Drugs at the yang. What do you think all them homeless people on the street? We got Antifa. We got so many corrupt bangs and cliques and clacks here. And it's hard to penetrate them. You got to get in. No, I don't. Because then some people would know who I am. And I'm not really concerned about that part. What I'm concerned about, I don't want them harassed.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't want that as their situation to change.
Exactly.
You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Look, it's a lot. It's a lot. And when it first came out, I took a lot of notes from what I was hearing and what I knew and names. Okay, it's a moment. Now I'm gonna tell you something. Just a suggestion. Go back into the interviews. Remember when they did the interviews when it first happened?
Yes, ma'am.
Look at some demeanors.
Okay.
Listen to some of the words that were said.
Yes, ma'am.
Look at the two people. You listening?
Yes, ma'am. I'm all ears.
The two people that's doing the press conferences.
Mm-hmm.
You hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
And I remember one time, I'm going to say this last thing, and I ain't going to try to hold you. You remember when somebody had said or threw out there that one of the guys that I just mentioned was supposed to have been arrested.
Mm-hmm.
Look at him. I'm going to drop this little bomb right here. They do have eyes on him because they have reason to.
Oh, shit.
Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about the bigger boys.
Mm.
Yeah. But that's why he didn't want him to come down here.
You dropping the bombs on him today like Funk Flex. Yeah.
I say can't nobody handle this but T-Rev. What's all them helpers' names that be on there?
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
You know what I'm saying with they pods, and I can't fuck with none of them because they can't get my drift.
But for sure, there's only certain people that understand it. You know, people be like, "Woman, you're fucking crazy." But some people you really got to have an open mind when it comes to shit. I mean, look at cases like corruption in the Stephen Avery case, and just all these different cases. The corruption is real.
It's real, and people always love to say, "Oh, they're the police. They're I know who they are."
I said they're the police. That don't mean shit.
But they're human.
They are just like us.
They like money.
I'm opening the lines up. The video is almost over. It's about 8 more minutes, and I'm gonna open the lines up. I'm serious. What do y'all think about this phone? You think she's blowing smoke? If you think she's blowing smoke, mention it. Call me. Tell me why you think she's blowing smoke. Or is there really a corruption problem in the state of Pullman, or in the town of Pullman, Washington, running through Moscow? Multiple people have called in and said this. Y'all know that. The people that been here while we were live during the case constantly, every day, 5 to 7 days a week. I mean, people constantly said there was corruption there. That, especially locals. Somebody emailed me last night telling me I had a call that the dude called, and I forget exactly what it was like. He got a gun charge and they planted some shit. I don't know. There's just been a lot of people that called in with this corruption story of Moscow and Pullman, and I've been hearing them throughout.
They still like money.
These people don't think there. For the people that don't think there's corruption in America, they need to wake the fuck up.
Thank you. And we as people got to stick together. And as I said, they better get their flashlight, get the shine in it.
Yes, ma'am.
And as I said, the drug thing up here is ridiculous. From Idaho, Montana, Colorado, these states, the neighbors, all their neighbors, all right.
I'm mind blown.
I said, that's why I got to talk to T-REV so he can feel me what I'm talking about, because I need to go and get this out, because I can't hold it no longer. Because when it comes to life, it's precious to me.
Absolutely.
And I don't care whose it is. I've had people asking me, well, what do you feel about the death penalty? I said, I feel the same way I taught my sons. You do the crime, you do the time.
That's for sure.
And whatever your punishment is, I'm going to leave that on you.
You got to take that up at the gates, and then you might not get in the gates.
You see what I mean?
For sure, for sure.
We got a lot. And as I said, I know they have those. I don't never really look at them, but I see them sometimes when they come on the TV, and people be done went in and looked at all the last arrests and house parties and things that they've had going on, arrests and calls, and because that's public knowledge. And when you start suppressing that, that's the enemy in the camp, because it's called public record. What does that mean?
And they scrubbing shit too right now too. That's another thing.
I said they got a paintbrush. They shuffling some shit around here. You hear me?
Yeah.
Take his shit out. Redacted, coloring out. All you need is a pencil. Is she good to get the little bit she getting? First it was red, now it's green.
Yep, yeah, it was red, now it's green, then it turned now it's the whole fucking rainbow.
Okay. First it was 2 paragraphs, now it's a half a paragraph. But they
and the pictures. She brought something else to my attention. She was like, did you notice they showed Brian's house on it? It don't look nothing like it did on the news when you look it up.
It didn't look nothing like it.
Which is weird.
No, it ain't weird. It's how they doing it. Because as I said, listen here, we got some people. Now, I told you I was going to stop dropping these bombs on you. We got some people here that want him to go free.
Oh, my God.
That's some bombs, I'm telling you. Oh, I need to get me a bomb sound.
Yes, you do. You need to get a sound that says boom.
Mm-hmm.
A loud one. Yeah, it's a boom. The boom shit over here. Okay.
Yeah.
These devils ain't playing on this end. And what are you willing to do to keep yourself hidden in a secret? Unlive somebody.
That too. Yeah, somebody that knows too much information.
Exactly.
What would you say to these people out here who are involved in, or know something? I wouldn't even say involved, that knows something about something big. What would you say to those people?
You know what I would say to them?
Mm-hmm.
If you keep on with your mouth closed, something could happen to you. Because they got to be taken down. This is not going to just end. But God forgive you if you got information concerning 4 lives and you want to be on hush hush. If you want to help cut some of this out, then you got to go ahead and hit it at the throat. Because
I'm right, you can see the edits. Names mentioned, you know what I mean? Nah, there definitely is multiple edits in here. There was this phone call right here, 1 hour and 18 minutes on the money. I had to cut out a lot of different shit that was in this phone call for particular reasons.
You know what? It was a reason Jack didn't answer his phone. And it wasn't that he was asleep. And that's the bomb I have to drop. Oh, my God. That's the bomb I have to drop with you privately. I want to hook up with you on the private because I want to send you a couple of... I want to send you that clip from when... What's the guy name they shot and killed?
Kopeka.
Yeah. He was locked up. Yeah. So he was barricaded up in his apartment. Well, that wasn't what the WSU children was saying. And who are the college children? What grown old man live with college children? Where they at? Why we can't get the paperwork?
Exactly.
Who do you think is shutting it down where the information can't be gotten?
That's a very... Who's shutting it down? The government or somebody inside. There's somebody inside that's shutting it down. There's people that are able to use that damn paintbrush.
And real damn good with a pencil. It's deep. And guess what? The government don't really play a part. There's some of them turn my head to it. You handle it. Don't put us in it. Because to get them, you really got to go high. Because guess what you're going to need? You're going to need to take down you're going to have to pluck them off like ducks until you get bigger and bigger. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
And then those people will start snitching on other people. Now, all these drugs that are going on in these two colleges, T-REV, I'm sick of it. These children are not safe.
They're not safe at all. And is it you saying in Pullman and in Moscow they're not safe?
No, look at the drug trail here. I said in this state and that one. Because just like my daddy used to always say, who got the money? Who got the money? And it's payoff. Because as I was saying to you, all them times they went to them children's house for noise and what was their favorite word? Okay, now, don't make your neighbor mad. This really, I'm just putting it in lame terms. Okay, I know y'all over here partying, getting high, drinking, and kicking it, but just don't make your neighbors mad. Don't make the neighbors call us. And you saw one of them children, you know they were zooted out of their damn mind, T-REV. Come on now.
I can't believe you ain't got through before on the lines. Did you try to call in the middle of the case before arrest?
Yes, I've been trying to call you a good girl because there was too many lies coming out.
I seen it towards the end. Called me over 300 times. I'm dead serious. I went back and looked. She called me over 300 times. I seen it. It was always these numbers coming through, but I see you left some messages too.
Yeah, I said if I keep calling and bugging him, one day he gonna get back with me. It's a process. I understand because this big. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But I said I'm gonna wait until he get back with me. I'm gonna be patient. I'm gonna wait. Because one day he gonna call me. Here's what my thought was. I better hear him drop a couple of bombs so he can get back with me.
Oh yeah, you dropped them bombs and people were reminding me today. They were like, you need to get back with her. I was like, yeah, I need to get back with her.
But I wanted to hook up with you because if some shit, when shit start getting thick in the mud, whatever, hey, you come hang out with us. Because as I said, we legal abiding citizens. Because here's the thing. Everything for the 50 miles is going to be locked down. It ain't going to be nowhere to stay. My son, Airbnb, all his shit going to be locked in, plugged in. It ain't going to be nowhere to squat. You're going to need a damn trailer or you're going to need a tent. My word, this is not going to be like Alex Murdoch all on the TV, and it ain't going to be that kind of trial because the big wigs are not going to allow it.
Oh, my God.
They ain't going to allow it. They shutting the shit down. It's already gagged out right now. You're not hearing nothing.
Nothing. Not a thing. Only reason I know as much as I do, because as I said, I deal with the college children in Moscow and Pullman, and they talk, in their group. But now they're not trying to be unalive.
Have you? So you ain't never talked to no other casters out there? Just me.
Not a one. Not a one. I haven't even called one.
I'm glad that hit me up and was willing to talk to me. I appreciate that.
Okay, and then I'm gonna send you the clipping, the words that came from the briefing, co-parker, and I'm gonna show you his apartment and the SWAT team and all that shit they had down there. Because my son sent me the pictures. If there's any briefings or anything like that, because of the business that my son has, he gets to go. Well, you can use the thing about it is I don't want his name to come up. But other than that, you can show the pictures. You can show the briefing.
We protect the people.
I bet you can't find it now. What they said in the beginning, I bet you it has changed. You taking the reason I wanted to send it to you because I wanted you to read what it says and then compare it to other things that you may find that is said about that same thing. Like I said, I just need to get a little bit of that off because it's heavy, because I'm concerned about lives.
Yeah, that's some deep shit.
Because that's where we are now.
Yes, ma'am.
We are now on some more lives. We've already lost 4. I don't want 4 more to come up unalive.
Right. I'm with you on that. That's why this, part of this message needs to be put out.
But like I said, my sons, they don't really, get into, because they don't like the limelight. You know what I mean?
Right.
They just college boys living a life and trying to do, be on the low as they can. They don't, as I said, they don't commit crimes. They're upstanding citizens.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. But yeah, you get back with me and good luck on the doctors. You're going to be all right. You got God on your side.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. I appreciate you.
You remember that. You got God on your side. Listen, the spirit knows the spirit.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's why I'm willing to talk to you.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah, because see, privately, I want to give you some names. Some people for us to peep at.
Exactly.
So there's some names.
That'll probably be in a Netflix series.
Thank you. And the thing about it is, some of it ain't meant to be just said and out there just yet. And the FBI play a part in that. Some of it they won't release because they know it leads to something else and something else and something else. Look at the house, all that. Because I want to give me some pictures of it before they try to take it down.
Absolutely. Yes, man.
Okay,
I'm going to talk to you. Thank you for talking to me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Let's get some undercover brother shit going on like this.
Hey, look. She said, what she said, what did she say to me? That it wasn't in there. She said something because she mentioned the name and the last name. I had to take it out. But she had said that one of the main things that she said was what place do you see talk about tearing down a house before the trial? You know what I'm saying? Like there was just a bunch of stuff in there that she was talking about, and with names front, first and last. Is this not live? Yeah, we're live. We're live right now. What you mean? We live. We live. Single screen right there. Live as can be. Make sure you call in 219-885-9693. What's your thoughts on that call? Let's hear about it. What's your thoughts on that phone call? I mean, is there a lot of corruption there? I don't know. I personally think that BK is our guy and all, I've been saying that. I'm not moving off that, but there's a lot of people from Pullman and in Moscow that they're screaming corruption. Is there corruption? Ooh, I don't know. I don't know. It just sounds crazy. Detective John, what's going on, man?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's going on?
What's up?
So what do you think about that phone call, man? I know you. What are you thinking?
Man, I mean, I don't want to go. I was in law enforcement for a long time, man. And to listen to this conspiracy theory stuff just kind of, it's a big pill to swallow, man. I mean, we're in a different day and age. There's such a digital footprint. There's body cam. There's all kinds of stuff, and she could be onto something, but I doubt it. It takes a lot to freaking cover up stuff, and especially nowadays, man, nobody's gonna stick their neck out and cover up any kind of crime or. I don't know where she's going with this. It sounds like old school stuff to me. She's been around a long time. I mean, I respect everybody and their, what they have to say and their opinions and everything, but it's just not. I wouldn't go down that rabbit hole. And just between me and you, that's just and the listeners. I don't believe any of that crap. Sorry.
Yeah.
And the police have a job to do. They did what they did. They asked for help. They got help. We've got what I believe to be the suspect in custody. He's going to have a trial. There's a gag order to protect the integrity of the trial. It's got nothing to do with any conspiracy or shutting anybody up. Belicheo says it happens everywhere. Look, yeah, okay. Not at this level. This has got nothing to do with any conspiracy. It's got nothing to do with conspiracy. Maybe there is conspiracy on some little small town stuff. Who knows? I don't know. But just being real, it has nothing to do with this case. I can promise you that.
Like, you don't think there's no conspiracy involved in this case at all? Zero?
The Idaho 4?
Yeah, zero.
Zero, man. I mean, why? Why would there be any conspiracy?
At the beginning of this live, I said I went on my little rant of how I personally think Brian's the man. I don't think nobody else was involved. It was really just my personal opinion, but I have an open mind on things because I went through a lot of the shit. Dude, that woman called me like 300 times. A lot of locals have been calling me, and they talk about corruption within just in the town. Like, some of them weren't even talking about this case in particular. They're talking about they bringing up other cases around there that are like corrupted.
I get it. I remember months ago, whoever called, the lady was really emotional about that preacher or whoever he was, saying that he was involved in. You remember that? She started crying. She got real emotional.
Doug Wilson. Doug Wilson. You got
that was the name. And I actually sucked it up and kind of looked that guy up. He's got some power. You know, he's been around the town a long time. So, but as far, you know, I'm just trying to be the voice of reason. I can't see any scenario that would lead me to believe that this case has any corruption surrounded around it. Yes, it's a small town. There's a university involved that doesn't want the negative publicity. That's real. I mean, they want to keep that stuff, keep a lid on it as much as they can, but it's impossible. Look at the coverage this case got. I mean, there's a microscope on everybody, and every body cam that was involved was downloaded. People don't realize, you know, when an officer comes in at the end of every shift, he has to download everything that happened on that body cam. You can't just, you know, there's too many hands involved. You can't just make this stuff go away nowadays. It's not as easy as people think. There's too much of a digital footprint on everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're talking about a major, if there's corruption, you're talking about major work to make it happen. And I just, you know, I get it. I understand what your last callers, you know, I know you replayed that, but I understand what she's saying. But I
dropped that video separately. She was dropping a bunch of stuff I had to actually edit out for the sake of protection for her and kids and who they are, you know, the professors that she knows, etc. It's like there was a lot there to take in.
Yeah, I mean, I think people sit and they fester about things. You know, maybe I think it's a little more personal with that lady. To be honest with you, she's got some kind of something. I believe something happened with her son. I know she says her son, you know, her kids are good kids, but I believe or one of her kids was involved in something.
Well, she said she did. I don't know if you were listening at the time, but she said verbatim, her son in Pullman is someone big of importance.
Yeah, well, you know, if he's that popular and that famous in the community, then why do you think that people aren't going to know who she is? I mean, it just makes no sense. You know, people. I think it's a rabbit hole that we don't want to go down. I think there's a lot more other things. Just me talking my opinion. You know, there's a lot better things to talk about than some off the hook conspiracy theory that has nothing to do with this case or any case that any cold case that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I respectfully just kind of disagree with lady. I just don't see any validity to that.
Mm-hmm.
or any, well, I'll use the word probable cause to even believe that even exists. There's no reason. Tell me a reason why there would be any kind of a cover-up in this case. No, you can't, because there is no reason. The only thing that they could cover up is their inability to do the investigation correct from the very beginning. That's the only thing that they tried to cover up, in my opinion. That's the only thing they danced around all kinds of stuff. You know, because it's flat out, I'll tell you, that they were in over their heads until the FBI got involved. I think they just sat back and let the FBI handle this case. They had an investigator, a lead on it, but the FBI was pivotal in this case. And you know, I'm just trying to be the voice of reason here. There's no conspiracy, man. I wish it really bothers me to hear some of this stuff sometimes. It's just so far-fetched, but you know, everybody gets a platform. I get it, and that's great. But sometimes when people just, the drug cartel and stuff, come on, man. I was on the DEA task force. I know how this shit works. I mean, it's no drug cartels involved with that damn school. None of that stuff's going on. You're talking about a bunch of, you know, innuendo, bunch of crap. I just don't believe any of it. That's just me. You know, other people are going to disagree with me. But I don't think there's any kind of conspiracy surrounding this case. It's totally just good. Yes, there's drugs out there. There are cartels. What kind of drugs are you talking about? You talking about pills? You talking about meth? You're talking about Zanny. What are you talking about? What kind of drugs are you talking about there in Idaho and Washington? I mean, it's just out there to me, man. This isn't the 50s or the 60s. This is 2023. You think these guys don't want to put these dopers in jail? Yeah, people are absolutely crazy. They think there's some damn cover up with the police and the cartel. Give me a break, man. It's just out there, bro. just out there. There's a lot of things that I know aren't true. Because
so you're gonna tell me you don't think there's no cartel on the West Side?
No, I didn't say there's no cartel.
I'm not going out and saying, Detective John, I'm not going out and saying, yeah, that woman is just completely 100% right. Because if you look at my, if you go and look at my disclaimer in the comments, it's like, I don't know what's true. I give people a voice. I let them speak.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right to give them the platform. But what does the drug cartel have to do with this case? Zero. There's nothing that the drug cartel has to do with this case. Brian Kohlberger is a psychopath, sociopath. He's a nutbag. He did this because he was living out his own dream of trying to figure out what the mindset it is of a serial killer, and he became a mass murderer on the road to being a serial killer. And I believe that he's just nuts, man. He's nuts. I think he's driven himself crazy. He's got he's got some issues. There's mental issues already been documented. They've talked about. I mean, I think we're just dealing with a disturbed person, and it's just to bring the cartel into this and all that crap. That shit may very well be going on, bro. But it's got nothing to do with the Idaho 4 and these poor students being massacred, because it's just putting a black eye on them, even insinuating that there's drugs involved. Because if I'm a parent and I'm a parent of one of those students, and I'm grieving already, and then I have somebody getting on it, insinuating that it could be drug related, I'm gonna be hot, man. I'm gonna be hot. I'd be on this show freaking blasting whoever was saying that. You better have some pretty concrete evidence, and don't come on here and mask like, oh, I'm afraid to say anybody's name or anything. I don't want to implicate anybody. I don't want to implicate my children because it might affect them. Come on, man. I mean, this person's just spewing and just, she should write a book, she's making up stuff. I mean, I interview people all the time. I've done it for most of my adult life. Ask certain questions, you're going to get construction. She's constructing answers. She's making stuff up. It's just off the wall crap, man. I'm sorry. I don't go down those rabbit holes. It has nothing to do with anything about this case and these poor students that are dead. I don't agree with the insinuations that there's corruption involved, or there's no reason for it, is what I'm saying. You got not just the country, you've got an entire world watching this case. You honestly think that these guys are going to cover crap up?
Right.
No way. The only thing they're going to cover up, like I said, is in the beginning stages that they were dancing around their investigative tactics and some of the things I saw that were wrong. But that's pretty common with small departments that have never encountered anything like a quadruple homicide like this. I mean, it's I think they only had like under 30 sworn personnel, and how many of those were police officers? I don't know, maybe 12 to 15. You're talking about a little. Don't get me wrong. You're talking about a little town.
I assume you never listened to that phone call from start to finish, which it dropped.
No, I didn't.
A couple days. It dropped 2 days ago, right? So I put disclaimer: everything you hear on my channel is pure speculation and allegedly. So take everything with a grain of salt. I do not know what's what with this case. I just give people a voice. Now,
Right.
if what she's saying is true, it is wild. She has 3 kids that go to WSU, and no, her name is not Michelle or Kim, just to let you know. That's what I'll say to people. And then I said she says she'd never been on any podcast ever, and she is super serious. Let me know what you think. So I also did some homework on how many times she called me. She called me about 300 and something times, left voicemails, and has been trying to get a hold of me before the rest of mine. You know,
Right.
so I just thought that was interesting, and I wanted to, because she didn't sound like she was bullshitting. Her area code matched up with, you know, particular area, and she was just, you know, wanted to speak on it. She was like, I moved from Vancouver 8 years ago or 10 years ago or whatever to Pullman. My children go to the college, you know, that she knows a professor that, you know, professors there, or a professor, should I say.
Right.
And then she had sent me some photos. She sent me some photos on the text message, talking off of here, because there was things that she wanted to show me and talk about that I didn't. It can't be on here. And she was like, "You'll never find these anywhere else." And a lot of the photos were like the scene of Brent Kopeka, and it was weird because when I Google reverse image search them, they don't pop up nowhere. So somebody took those photos. She said her son took the photos, but they're nowhere on the internet, dude. No, they haven't been posted. I Google reverse image search that shit, and it's nowhere. They didn't pop up anywhere. So something she's saying is something. You know what I mean? I don't know what, but
Yeah, I mean, I get it, man. I do. I just don't. What's her point? What is she trying to say here? I mean, I didn't
corruption.
listen to the whole thing.
Her point is this, and I'll give it to you in a nutshell. Her point is that they're covering shit up. They're covering some stuff up. Corruption. They got, and basically she was saying they're using a paintbrush, meaning they're going back and hiding records and shit like that. That's what she was getting at. In reality, they're hiding information. They're using a paintbrush to cover up information, in her terms, which would be in our terms scrubbing.
So basically, she's saying that she's insinuating that someone dropped the ball early on, and that could have stopped Kohlberger from doing what he did because of the reports. Is she saying that they're trying to hide that?
You would need to go back and listen to it, like when you got time. Her phone calls, like 42 minutes, and see where catch her drift, because she talks about a lot of things.
She was all over the place. Bro.
She had a lot on her chest and still has more.
That's why I think it's personal. There's something personal there. America can't sell. America can't. What does that say? Somebody said that I said that I grew up with kilos. Yes, I did. And that was a cartel.
Wild speculation because of the gag order.
That was a drug dealer. He wasn't part of the cartel.
Hmm.
I try to say something but positive, but she should write a book. Come on, man. I mean, she could be a writer. Some of this, I mean, I don't know, man. She could have something, but I don't see the link to this case. I don't see any kind of a drug link. I mean, I could be wrong, but know anything about Ian Harsh and his drug use and dealing, he has a past. I probably just know what you guys know about his past, what I've seen on here. I mean, Ian Harsh, that guy's he's a character. That guy's a tool, in my opinion. I'm sure that guy's known about every drug there is. But what does he have to do with the 4 dead kids? I mean, other than being a neighbor. I mean, I think a lot of people just sit around and imagine, all kinds of scenarios, and one of them's going to be right.
It's wild, bro. Right. Like Nancy said, wild speculation because of the gag order, and I agree with that. There's a lot of wild speculation going on.
She's right, and that what was meant for me, John? I missed it. I'm trying to read this stuff. not about
Would there
Kohlberger and the victim.
would there be a
About what
reason?
they
Now I have a
said.
question for you. Would there be a reason? Now some people said they can find it. Some people said they can. Well, tonight is the first time I've seen somebody say they found the death certificate for Ethan Chapman. But a lot of people in my Discord that have been doing a lot of different research has been coming back and telling me they can't. And I don't know how to find these death certificates, but they're saying they can't find the death certificate for Ethan Chapman.
That means nothing.
Yeah, I know. That's I mean, I don't know that it
nothing.
means nothing, but why wouldn't somebody? Why would they be able to find the other three and not his?
There could be various reasons. They could be still waiting on any kind of toxicology or anything like that to come back on them. Sometimes it takes months to get toxicology back, man. Or there could be something in his toxicology that's leading them to forensically to look at it better to make sure that there wasn't some crazy drug in his system. I don't know, man. There's all kinds of reasons, but not having a death certificate means nothing right now. I mean, to conspire and say, oh, then he's really not dead.
Gemini says, where's the evidence on BK?
Where's the evidence on BK? Well, they've got DNA on a sheath, not only on a snap. I'm gonna speculate, and I'm gonna say that it's all over it. But the snap would be the only place that you could really swab to get it, because the case is more porous and the snap's more it's a piece of metal. You can swab that and get results right away. You have to send the rest off to the lab to get those. So I can guarantee they're not telling us, they don't give us enough PC on that warrant to charge him. They're not, all of the evidence has not come out. You're only seeing just a fraction of the evidence.
Right.
I'm sure when it does come out, and I don't know what we're going to get in June in that hearing, but I don't know of any reason why there would be any corruption here. Somebody said the FBI swooping in. The FBI had to swoop in. They were way over their heads, and shows like T-REV show and other shows bringing the light on it. I mean, they had to bring the feds in, man. There's no way to avoid that. You got a quadruple homicide, and you got a small department. You need help.
Yeah.
Only Detective John's allowed to speculate. No, I'm not. I'll always speculate on stuff, but I'm just trying to be real. That's my opinion. Everybody you allow everybody to give an opinion on here, right, T-REV?
Yes, sir.
My opinion is, I think it's,
and they're gonna give their opinion back. You know how it goes.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a
and I'm
two-way
going to
street.
respond. I'm going to respond with, tell me why there would be any corruption surrounding the murder of 4 innocent college students.
Why don't we bring up Detective John on panel? Can you come up on panel, Detective John? And we'll bring a person up at a time and fucking speculate back and forth.
What time is it?
We can have speculation night. Nah, we could talk about why, we can bring up certain parts of the case, and people can ask you some questions.
Go ahead. I mean, you can ask me all the questions you want to ask. I mean, I'm not always right. I'm just bringing a different, avenue of reasoning here. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, everybody, T-REV, I know you've had your encounters with the police, and anybody that has any encounters with the police, it's generally not good. It's like this lady saying her kids are good. I don't know whether her kids are good or not, but obviously, her kids have had some kind of encounter, because this is personal for her. This isn't just innuendo. This is like she's been involved in something that's rubbed her wrong, and she hates the police.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Thanks for reminding me, Crime on a Dime. She did say this too when I talked to her. She did say that. She said that the students knew this was going to happen before it happened. They were supposed to be roughed up, but it went too far. She isn't the only one that has said that very same thing. There's been multiple people from there that said that. She also said the students are talking crazy there.
Then why? So let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
So if the students are talking crazy and all this stuff is out there that this lady is insinuating, then why has the media? Why is the media not in on it? Why are these people not on a show like this or another show saying this stuff anonymously? Why is no one corroborating with what she said? I haven't heard nothing. I've heard nothing. You know, this lady's the only person I've heard saying this kind of crap, other than just little stuff here and there. But this is, you know, she's opened up Pandora's box. This is crazy, in my opinion.
Detective John, why didn't they stop BK from cleaning his car up when they were watching him? When he was scrubbing that bitch down?
Because they still didn't have enough PC to do anything. You don't want to spook him. Who cares? He's cleaning his car. They've already got evidence. And that, you know, remember when you looked on the search warrant, when they did the search warrant, what did they seize?
A lot of shit.
Vacuums, a mini vac, probably what he was using to suck stuff out of the car. They took that. They took the filter. You know, I mean, that stuff's petty. I mean, they had surveillance on him because they wanted to. He did exactly what they thought he was going to do. He hauled ass. He changed his tags, you know, and he hauled ass and went back to Pennsylvania. He thought he had it made.
Right.
He thought he beat this, and that was in my opinion. This was my opinion. That was his ultimate plan: is to do this, to get away with it, to come back to that college and be a professor, and to talk about, you know, unsolved cases and create an itinerary where they've got to, you know, investigate unsolved cases right there next door to where they go to school and give their opinion on it. And he would get off on it for decades.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I believe that's what a psychopath he is. I believe he did this knowing that he was going to try. He thought he could get away with it. And I also don't believe that he planned to do it that night. He made way too many mistakes. I believe he was planning on doing it. I believe the thoughts ran through his head, but I don't believe he just decided he was going to do it that night earlier or at any point. I think it was a spontaneous thing. And I think that, you know, the announcement that Kaylee was going to be leaving and going to Texas after that night,
mm-hmm,
gave him his opportunity. That's why he jumped on it that night, because he wanted to get her. That's my opinion. That's what I think. I could be very wrong. It could be one of the other girls who's going after her, but that's just too coincidental to me. I wasn't on when the Pullman mother was on.
The corruption that she's speaking of. Why is everybody from that town, or most people that talk, they're screaming corruption?
But
do you think that's just people conspiring or coming up with conspiracy theories, or do you think any of it holds some type of weight inside of any of those statements? Now,
I don't think it matters. I think wherever this happened, people are going to say the things that they're saying. It wouldn't matter if it happened here in Daytona, in my town. Wouldn't matter if it happened in, you know, Champaign, Illinois, wherever. You're going to have people saying this stuff. There's just been so many eyes on this, and it's just so blown up, and everybody's got their own opinion and their own theories. And now we have a gag order. We don't know anything. So we all sit back and we come up with all kinds of, you know, innuendo. And, you know, this lady's got something else. She's obviously lived there her whole life. Maybe the department is corrupt. Actually, T-REV, go online and Google, just put the department and corruption, see what comes up. You know,
but
a lot of internal investigations where there's been excessive force, things like that. You know, you're going to see unfounded, founded. It's all public information. You'll be able to get that stuff. You Google corruption for whatever Pullman Police Department, Is that a county or is that a city?
July 15th, 2022, WSU investigating misconduct allegations within campus police.
Okay.
Pullman
Let's see what that
files
says. What is
show
the allegation?
neglect.
Probably sexual harassment or excessive force or what?
There's actually been quite a few reports on Pullman here. Hold up. Let's take it here. Effective
That's
July
not unusual.
15th, WSU Police Sergeant Don Daniels will serve as an acting chief of police, and Victoria Murray will serve as acting associate VP for public safety. Following allegations of misconduct, WSU names a new acting police chief vice president of public safety. Now it says Pullman, Washington State University Police Department has named a new acting campus police chief following an investigation into employee misconduct within the department. According to press release, WSU is currently conducting a disciplinary investigation into allegations of employee misconduct within the Pullman campus police department. It is not known who is under investigation in the department, but the positions of police chief and vice president for public safety have been reassigned. Effective July 15th, WSU Police Sergeant Don Daniels will serve as acting chief police for the department. Additionally, Victoria Murray, the executive director for finance and administration, will serve as the acting associate vice president for public safety. Phil Weiler, the vice president of marketing and communications at WSU, told Crim 2 the university does not want to hide anything, but does want to give those involved their chance at due process. He also said he has no reason to believe criminal charges will be filed, but could not comment on what kind of charges could be filed. The investigation will likely end in several weeks, according to Wheeler. Man, that's how they spelled his name.
And when did this investigation start?
July 2022, 15th.
Okay. So, like I said,
that's the latest one. That's the latest one on corruption.
That's why I said look it up. See if there's anything out there. That doesn't sound like anything crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Probably something internal. But you know, she's been whoever was the acting chief has been reassigned.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's no criminal charges pending. I don't know. That stuff is always happening in departments, man. It's always there's, and trust me, IAD, Internal Affairs Division, is not a cop's friend. They have a job to do, and they'll end a career in a heartbeat. Nowadays, they don't care, man.
Now,
it's like a totally different entity within the department. Internal Affairs.
I ask you a question.
They are wanting to fire your ass for anything. I'm telling you.
Why is it that the lead investigator found the sheath when he arrived after 4 p.m. that day of the event? Allegedly, Detective Jones.
I don't know. I can't answer that. Wasn't the sheath, you know, embedded in like sheets underneath one of the girls' bodies? You know, the crime scene, you know, just because the end comes and the bodies will lay there, the bodies could lay there for a day till they process it. They won't remove the bodies for hours or days even.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've had crime scenes where the bodies were there for over a day, you know, just processing. You don't see it until you start moving things around, but you want to process the scene, you know, without moving any of the corpus delicti, which is the body of the crime. You don't want to move it until you get to the point where you're trying to establish, okay, what's under the body, you know, then we'll move it. But you got to photograph, you got to, you know, to do it the right way. You don't go in there and just start flipping bodies around. They were obviously deceased. So you didn't have, you know, rescue coming in there and pronouncing them dead and moving the body around. They just felt for a pulse, and, you know, it was a pretty morbid scene.
So there's,
You know,
I mean, there's a lot. There's one here too. 2020 or 2019, April 17, 2019. Pullman police files show neglect of duty, sexual harassment, and a
yeah,
snub.
what did I say?
Snub the rape
Sexual
victim.
harassment. Always sexual harassment. There's always an investigation on an arrest with a male officer and a female, you know, defendant. Where, you know, I had a good friend of mine that you know actually did rape a girl in the back of a patrol car and got fired. I worked with the guy every day. Couldn't believe it was during spring break. She was drunk off her ass. She passed out, and he seized the opportunity and he raped her. He cut, you know, when I had the car in the Sally Port, they cut a big section of the back seat out, and you know, it happens, you know. But for this to be this conspiracy to hide anything about this case, I just don't see it. Wouldn't make any sense to me. You know, if officers were involved in it, or you know, if you were to say that one of these girls was dating one of these officers or something like that, and that officer was involved and he was trying to cover stuff up. But again, that's not plausible. And if it were, IAD would fire him in a heartbeat, and they'd hang him out to dry.
Why is there no video coverage of the bodies being removed from the scene? A lot of people keep asking. And
well, we went over that.
Is that a common thing? Is to see the bodies be pulled out from the scene?
Out of respect, they could have done that very easily through those back sliders, up on that back lot where I believe he was casing them out. But you know, you could have removed the bodies. That's why we never saw anything. You know, is they had that back corded off, and they brought the bodies out those sliders up that hill and probably thrown them in, for lack of a better word, you know, the meat wagon for bodies, and they took the bodies to the morgue. You could have gotten them out very easily. And you know what? You know, for the most part, if the police come out and they ask the press, you know, not film any of that, a lot of times they will, you know, they'll honor that request out of respect for the families. But
what do you think about the person or the alleged person that went in and checked Ethan's pulse?
Initially, when they ran out, when I woke up in the morning,
yeah, it's been highly reported on a lot of different news channels and shit. But no, that's not to say that's. I don't know where they got that information from, but
why wouldn't that happen? I mean, if somebody came out and snatched me off the street and I ran in and saw that and saw a bunch of blood, I would probably check the pulse too, as a first responder, or just out of, you know.
Yeah, but
see if there's anything I can do.
You go in and see a scene like that. No, I won't even.
I
won't even get into what my thoughts were on that just now.
I'm putting myself in a student's shoes, not as a seasoned investigator's shoes. I personally, if I walked in on something like that, I would be like, hold my arms out. Nobody come in until the police get here. But you know, you're talking about probably another student that was walking by that ran in there and saw that. They don't know what to do. They're in panic mode. And again, what does that have to do with anything? I mean, I don't. That's nothing, you know, in the grand scheme of things. They've got their man, guys. Everybody, they've got their man. They've done. Watch the videos of him being pulled over twice. He is freaking out. He's got concern in his eyes, his piercing eyes. He's crunching his eyes together. He's freaking out every time they pulled him over. Those were staged traffic stops.
Yeah, I mean, they seem staged to me too. Pulled you over.
They were 100% staged. Whether they were trying to get surveillance on his parents' house, or get ready to execute a warrant so they could get surveillance around it. They were trying to slow him down before they got there. I don't know. I'm just guessing. But, you know, I believe they executed the search warrant that early morning of the night that he got there. 2 or 3 of them. It's all about element of surprise, when you do stuff like that. But I just, this whole conspiracy thing is just out there for me. There may be other things she's referring to that, but I don't. Purely speculating on my part, Detective John. Yeah, I don't know the facts. I don't know everything about this case. I know a lot about it. I'm just giving my opinion, people. I don't think there's any grand conspiracy to cover anything.
I got another question for you. Is I guess the DNA is enough to. Obviously, the statement from DM saying bushy eyebrows, she's seen it with bushy eyebrows, etc. The guy, basically his build, right? That's not enough to grab him. But what was enough to grab him was the shit under the snap of the sheath, correct?
Well, the car. Remember from the very beginning, I said the car was going to be key. Mm-hmm. The car is what's going to hang him. The car was key. I believe they had surveillance on him. I believe they when he even changed his tag. I mean, they were watching him, trying to compile evidence, to build a case against him, and they did garbology, which we talked about. I said garbology, they're going to do garbology on him. They'll get him that way. They not only did it there at his place, they did it at his parents' place. They pulled DNA off of something his father handled, and they determined that was his father. They were on it, man. The feds were on it. He had multiple jurisdictions, of FBI agencies on this. It's a good case. I don't believe anybody else was involved. I believe he's the only one that did it. This is my, people can argue all they want. I mean, this is just my opinion. He did this himself. It wouldn't take long to do it. People can say, oh, you couldn't do it in, under a minute. The hell you couldn't. You could do it pretty quick. Well, especially when you're pumped full of adrenaline and, only wielding a K-bar knife over 9 inches like that knife. You only gotta puncture somebody once to pretty much incapacitate them.
The coroner is a defense attorney. That's interesting.
The older lady.
That's what Mouthy Mama said in the chat.
You remember
he was going to school for
medical examiners, the ones that show up on the scene. They're not the pathologists. They're not the ones that conduct the autopsy. They take temperatures. They do things like that to try and determine ascertain a time of death and gather evidence to kind of corroborate what they find during the autopsy. It's just kind of it's a step that you have to take in a homicide. They get involved, and then the detectives. I've been held. I was actually allowed to do an autopsy. We had a pathologist here that was awesome. He just handed me the saw. I got to cut the scalp off, remove the brain, remove the heart. He let me do it. It wasn't a homicide. It was just a suspicious death.
Oh my God!
It's cool stuff. To do if you can handle it. But I don't know what the lady's going off on. She's going off on some other tirade as far as conspiracy, but there's no conspiracy in my opinion on this case. There's just no reason to have one, and there's too many eyes on it. The chief heads would roll, man. I mean, it's just, could you imagine any kind of conspiracy now? I just don't see it. If there is one, then it's all going to come out. And and you're talking about two different agencies here too. You're talking about the campus. Is she talking about the Washington police, city police, or what department is she talking about? She's not talking about Moscow.
Right.
Correct?
She's talking about both.
Yeah, but allegedly her kids go to Washington State, correct?
So hold up. The Idaho 4 is trending right now. So I'm trying to see what's trending about it. AT&T Inland Verizon Tower dump warrants. Warrant for 3 redacted unknown Verizon numbers went out 11/16, came back 11/17. Warrant for 2 redacted unknown T-Mobile numbers went out for 11/16, came back 11/18. These didn't come from tower dumps. Are these last contacted on victims' phones? Question mark. There's a lot of it's trending right now, so I'm looking at things. Idaho murders a small town grapples with sinister rumors. Media's true crime obsession grows, and I'm sure.
See, that's talking about you, basically. Your show, probably.
There's ones that been cut, bro. I haven't even been live that much for it to be my shit. Besides that phone call that I got, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really even like a lot of people are going live talking about a lot of this shit.
Like Serena 213 said, I've always said you could do what he did in 10 minutes easily. You could do it quicker than. I mean,
so it reads this: Corner Club owner Mark Trivelpiece was starting to hate reporters. As a rule, he condemns violence. Anyone who throws punches in the Corner Club gets booted. But 3 weeks into the media storm surrounding the murders of 4 college kids in his town, Trivelpiece was beginning to think that people don't get punched in the face enough. What? On November 13th, Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernoodle, Kaylee Gonsalves, and Madison Mogan had been stabbed to death in the girls' off-campus house in Moscow, home to the University of Idaho. Trivelpiece's bar is where the 2 victims, Gonsalves and Mogan, spent their last evening on Earth. When the murders made news, the media swarmed, and Trivelpiece's business in particular came under siege. I want the Corner Club to be famous, he said, but not for this. When reporters barged in talking about the murders in such a casual way, Trivelpiece was like, whatever you guys want to talk about at home is fine, but their friends, victims, are sitting right there. So let's not do this. He turned down location fees from NBC, ignored calls from TMZ, banished journalists from as far away as the London Telegraph, but they kept coming. Someone claiming to be from Fox News had recently followed a Corner Club employee's roommate to work. Good God. Like,
if you think or anybody believes for 1 minute that the owner of that Corner Club hasn't a lot of money off of this, they're crazy. I guarantee you that place is booming. That place is making money off of this. There's a lot of places making money. That whole town made money off of this, because of the media coverage.
Right.
But I think you remember that fake video that I photoshopped with Jack B being the boyfriend. That wasn't real, man. None of that stuff was real, in my opinion.
Whoever just
said
turned out this article was just put out on the 8th of March. So it's really only it's not that many days old, and it was just updated and more was added to it yesterday. From what I just read. Yeah, exactly. It says updated on the 13th of March, which was actually today. Well, now it's the 14th because it's 12 a.m. here, but in general.
Somebody saying something about an officer being fired. I remember them talking about that for accessing cameras. I don't know that that's true. Look that up, T-REV.
Because the biggest speculation on this case, Detective John, is that there's not only Brian Koberger, that there's other people. And people are connecting Brent Kopecker, and people are connecting Brent Kopecker, or how the woman say his name? Brent Kopecker, Kopecker, whatever, and Brian Blowberger. They're connecting them two together. I forget what it was that connected them together, but if no changes in here, she'll tell you. They connect.
Well, I will say this: it's awful coincidental, and I'm not saying that he's involved. Don't get me wrong, but it's awful coincidental that they're driving back to Pennsylvania and they have a police involved, shooting incident on the same campus that your mass murderer suspect is on the way back to Pennsylvania. That is crazy to me, but I've seen crazier stuff happen. Maybe Brian was mind screwing this guy and convinced him to go nuts or something and, commit suicide by police. I don't know. I mean, there's all kinds of things people can think about and suggest. I believe that he did it on his own. That's just me, though. I could be wrong. Only because I know I could do it on my own. I'm 5'11", 230 pounds. Kohlberger was in shape. I mean, he's 6'2". What is he, 6'2"? He runs. He could handle himself. Especially three tiny girls, except for one. One was one that could give him a fight, obviously did, and she's the one that's wound up with the defensive wounds all over her.
Right.
But I mean, I believe he did it on his own. It wouldn't be easy. It wouldn't be hard to do with a knife like that. He's got reach. He's got long arms. He's tall. I mean, he could do it very easily. Imagine being plunged just in one area of the mass of your upper body with that knife. Imagine that plunging into your body just once. Imagine just plunging into your shoulder. As a female that's not a fighter, obviously, somebody that's never encountered anything like that. It would incapacitate you immediately. You would probably cower up in a little corner and beg not to be killed. I've often, since this has happened, tried to close my eyes and think about how this happened, and it's crazy. No thanks, Detective John. No thanks for what? This guy wanted to bring attention on this case. If he didn't, then he would have used a gun and went in and blown him away. It's like I was saying before, we've become so desensitized over gun violence in this country that, if he'd have walked in with a Glock and blown them all away, we'd have talked about it for a week. But because he walked in with a knife and did this, you watch. There's going to be other killings. You watch. I hope and pray not. But I think that he's gotten so much attention. Anybody that's got that mindset that wants attention isn't going to use a gun. They're going to do something horrific, like use a knife, and be talked about, for forever. No one's ever going to forget this case. That's his mindset. He is a 100% sociopath.
Detective John, what do you think about the defense lawyers being able to prove enough reasonable doubt to prove him not guilty because of sloppy police work? ? Shirley Harris.
Well, from the beginning, it's like I remember I was kind of going nuts over the fact that they didn't drape the windows, and cover the windows. No one should have been able to film inside that crime scene. What they were doing. They didn't have the front door secured, from what I saw. Had one car parked out front. She was probably sitting there. You could easily got into that crime scene. There's all kinds of things that they're going to bring up. Going in and out. I know the one caller was a mother of somebody at the crime scene. Text said they don't do things like that anymore. Listen, you're walking in and out of a crime scene, as horrific as that. You don't walk out of the building with your booties on and walk back in with the same booties on. Those get bagged and tagged just like everything else. You don't stand over, bodies and collect evidence without, proper, proper attire, gloves, mask. You don't want to introduce any DNA, even if, and it does happen, everybody's got to present their DNA to eliminate themselves from the crime scene. You have to present your own DNA. But why would you do that? It was a sloppy job in the very beginning. I think once the feds got involved, you obviously had two different agencies there. You had the Idaho State Police involved, along with their agency. You could see the difference between the two. You could tell the difference between their investigators and the ISP, or whatever the acronym was for them. It had the thing. It's like here in Florida, we have what's called FDLE. They come out and on homicides have crime scene, specialists that are trained to handle nothing but crime scenes. Just a regular, just any old detective at the police, at the PD or the county, unless it's a huge department, they're not equipped with that kind of stuff. They have to call in state agencies, and they weren't there right away. So I'm sure there's all kinds of stuff they're gonna bring up, to try and discredit the investigation, try and show contamination. Look at OJ.
Yes, you believe.
The biggest thing with OJ, or the dumbest thing they could have allowed, was to allow those gloves in there, because those gloves were wet. Those gloves shrunk. Of course, they're not going to. They weren't even allowed to rebut on it. They didn't even say, "Oh, well, the gloves were wet. They shrunk. They didn't fit." But if they didn't fit, you must have quit.
Yeah,
and that's what
another
won
thing
him that case.
that Tracy just reminded me of that people keep talking about is the officer Payne being scrubbed from the internet. I keep seeing that shit from so many different people that he's completely scrubbed from the internet. In general, you can't find nothing on this Detective Payne.
Well,
what's your thoughts on that? Why would that happen?
Well, it can happen, I don't know what reasons, what are the reasons that are being thrown out there for that? What do they think the reason is?
Everybody talk to me in chat. What are the reasons that you guys think that nobody can find anything on Payne on the internet? Because it's multiple. A lot of you have said it to me.
And which one? Excuse me. Which one was Payne? What was his involvement?
It wasn't Fry. I'm trying to remember exactly Payne. I have to go back and look in general, because I have a whole folder full of shit, and I know
gag on Payne. There's a gag on anybody that's involved in this case. Period. That's what the gag is for anyone involved in this case. They're trying to protect it. It's going to be really difficult to get a jury pool of people together that don't know anything about this case. And in fact, everyone probably on the jury pool will know something about this case, and they're going to have to select. The defense is going to fight, and the prosecution is going to fight for. Prosecution is going to fight for somebody that's pro death penalty, because it's a death penalty state.
I found something on him.
What?
Immediately, as soon as I looked him up, Brett Payne.
Payne's second business is scrubbing the internet.
I found him right on the City of Moscow. City Council right up front, Human Resources Legal Office, Mayor. It says Staff Director Brett Payne, Police Department, Title Officer, phone number 208-883-7000, extension 2260.
What is he, the PIO, the Public Information Officer?
Dude, that beats me. I don't know.
Like he's
I don't know who's. There's so many characters in this fucking story that I don't know who's who no more. Only ones I know is
Payne,
Fry, who
right.
I've seen the most. I hear, I've seen heard about the Payne, but it's like what,
Payne the young kid that they were kind of trying to crucify because he didn't have experience. The young kid that wound up doing a pretty good job. It seemed like
Payne's emails right here.
I think he's the young lead detective. I think that was his last name. And people were saying he's only got 2 years and he shouldn't be getting his case, blah, blah, blah. Lead detective or 2 years experience too. Yeah, he's there's not going to be anything. They're going to scrub anything involved in him. This isn't just your typical case, everyone. This is like I said, this has got worldwide attention. Everybody's watching this case. So, you know, you got the feds involved, you know, they can make it happen. They could shut everything on the internet down involving him. They could have, you know, Google shut it down. Pain is the way it's spelled. Yeah.
Oh my God, I was looking at your pickup, and no wonder you weren't blanking. All right, there you go. I'm blanking now. Interesting. It's Payne. Yeah, I found him though right here though. Let's pull Payne up. Payne is right here. It says staff director. So you see it right here. We got Payne right there. There's his. If I click on that, it gives me his email.
What is his title though? I can't read that.
Hold up, I made it big screen.
This department.
No, today it says he's involved.
It says officer.
Right. It says Brett Payne, staff director Brett Payne, police department. Boom. You can click on there and email him.
Detective J was BK interrogated.
Payne is pretty cool. I met him the other day at the gas station.
I'm sure they tried to interrogate him, but I'm sure he probably lawyered up. You know, interviews and interrogations, you know, you have to not only be read your rights, but you have to actually read your rights and you have to sign off on it. I'm sure this guy didn't talk. I'm sure he's lawyered up. So Sandra Williams said, yeah, that's him. Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, that was the lead detective.
Yes, that's your lead guy, but you can get a hold of him right here.
Yeah, but I'm sure everything's being screened. I'm sure he's not even at that number. I mean, he's so busy. He's, you know, just imagine every media entity in the world is trying to get an interview with him, even though they're going to ask, even though they know he can't. You know, people are still going to ask. You know, you know, when we were on a crime scene, our policy dictated that we do not talk to the media. We cannot talk to the media at all. Pretty much all departments are like that. So when you're walking out of a crime scene, like you saw the two, I believe, state police guys that went back to the crime scene that I thought was odd, you know, that just walked in and out, you know, the door was unlocked. When they walked out, they tried to confront them and they just walked right by them. They're not allowed to talk to them. And then you get people saying, "Oh, there's a conspiracy. They're trying to cover up. They're ghosting people. Blah blah blah." Well, they're not allowed. If that guy was to talk, either one of them were to talk to the reporter, he'd be written up and probably suspended. That's what we have PIOs for. That's public information officers. Those are the ones that talk to the media, and or through the chief for a designated, PIO, which could be a lieutenant of CID or whomever. But the investigators are not allowed to talk. There's basically an internal gag order period on cases. It's just the way it is. It's policy. That's, it's one of the big things. Do not talk to the media ever. Can't do it. I remember that just saying Guy Payne was his source.
Boy, there's so much shit on Payne all over. Dude, the internet is like hunting this boy Payne down. Oh,
because he's the lead investigator. So, what did somebody say something about somebody was trying to download video and somebody was fired for that? I don't know. I recall hearing something about that, but
he's good and gagged.
Google that, T-REV. Google Moscow investigator or Moscow police officer terminated for trying to download body cam video. See what comes up. because a lot of people would seize the opportunity if they were on their way out. Maybe they were about to retire or something. Download body cam video and sell it to the media. Could you imagine what it would be worth?
Nothing.
Could you imagine what crime scene photos would be worth right now?
I can't find it. I'm looking at the first page right now. I see nothing about that.
Yeah, somebody made inference to that earlier. I remember hearing something early about it, but I think it was squashed.
I mean, the only thing that comes up for that is Boise and fucking Idaho murders group spotted walking in the background of body cam video taken near crime scene at 3 a.m. and
right, all the stuff that we've already seen, really.
Yeah, that's what's showing up for me on that end in general.
Well, listen, I'm not trying to change the subject, but
somebody said, "What's this guy's opinion of motive?"
I'm purely speculating, but I think he had an infatuation with one of the girls, and he was shut down, and he began to, to surveil them, and he's damaged goods emotionally, and I think he became infatuated, and when she was leaving, that was his opportunity to get revenge. I think we're going to find out a lot when it comes to, there's probably been text communication, or he's been, viewing their social media and following them. I think all that's going to come out in the wash. When this trial happens, it's going to be a popcorn moment. We're going to be sitting there eating our popcorn, listening to what the prosecution divulges. But in discovery, hopefully in discovery, when they go through that phase, we'll get some stuff leaked out, and we'll know a little bit. Because what a lot of people don't know about trials is you can't just drop bombs on the defense and say, "Aha, I had this, you didn't know." Nah. It's like, they have to know what you have. There's no aha moments.
Yeah, because they got to be able to defend themselves from that.
Right,
Absolutely.
right. So they have to be able to present expert witnesses. They're going to present expert witnesses about the pings. They're going to do all kinds of stuff. They're going to fight tooth and nail. And I believe that, this state appointed PD, she's going to need help. And I'll be interested to see what kind of help she gets, whether it be from the private sector or the state, provides her through the budget, monies to provide him with proper defense and proper rebuttal witnesses.
The thing right now that is trending on Twitter is that a lot about Dylan. A lot of the things that are trending on Twitter right now are about Dylan. There's one that says that's where the cops say it was TikTok contradicting whoever DYLMO, maybe Dylan Mortensen in general, in a small secret. I think that's what they meant. It's very strange that they put it, or that they put in what they say is wrong and then decide that she heard TikTok, not Kaylee. If they admitted she heard Kaylee, they would have to admit that Dylan heard Kaylee screaming. So a lot of it, I see a lot of it is circling the part of the affidavit, the probable cause. They're circling this part right here that says DM stated she originally went to sleep in her bedroom on the southeast side of the second floor. DM stated she was awoken at approximately 4 a.m. by what she stated sounded like Gonsalves playing with her dog in one of the upstairs bedrooms, which were located on the third floor. A short time later, DM said she heard what she thought was Gonsalves saying something to the effect of "there's someone here." A review of records obtained from a forensic download of Kernoodle's phone showed this could also have been Kernoodle, as cellular phone indicated she was likely awake and used the TikTok app approximately at 4:12. Hello?
Didn't she get a delivery of food right around then too?
Okay, baby. Love it. What'd you say, Detective John?
She didn't she order food?
Who? DM?
Who got the food delivered? I don't remember
Xana
now.
did.
Xana got the phone delivered or the food delivered.
Yeah,
Okay.
she got the food delivered. But there's a lot of shit trending on Idaho 4 right now. Idaho 4 is trending like a mug.
Maybe some stuff's leaked out that we don't know about.
New reports are coming in about the Idaho quadruple murder suspect Brian Koberger's life behind bars, including his attendance at mass every Sunday inside of the Latah County Jail. Now they're talking about that shit.
Yeah, he's a narcissist.
The big thing that's trending right now is everybody's arguing over Dylan right now. That's what I'm reading. I'm going down the list and just looking at everything. It has something to do with Dylan, or it has something to do with Brian watching coverage from jail, and yeah, a lot of that.
Yeah, Xana got the food delivered at 4:07.
Another big thing is that AT&T Inland Verizon Tower dump warrants, and the warrants plus warrant for 3 redacted unknown Verizon numbers went out 11/16, came back 11/17, and the warrant for the 2 redacted unknown T-Mobile numbers that went out on 11/16 came back 11/18. So they're saying that they didn't come from tower dumps. Are these located on the victims' phones?
Right. So they, remember early on they had executed, I don't remember what they said, like over 50 search warrants, and I had said from the beginning, they're every number that's on those phones recent, they're going to get search warrants on those. They're looking for a suspect. They're looking for anybody that's had contact with them. What does it say? What do you think? They didn't redact DM's name in the affidavit.
I was just looking at Twitter protected. It's Idaho 4 is trending right now. That's why I was looking. I wanted to see what the fuss was about, but it's a mixture of things. It's about Brian attending mass at prison, like people give a fuck. And then
he's painting a picture. He wants to look like he's
a Christian,
righteous
or something.
Yeah, he's gonna be the model prisoner. I promise you.
T-REV, it's Latah. Come on now, you've been covering this long enough to know that. I've been covering a lot of different things. This is not the only case I obsess over, I do look at other cases.
Hey,
some things I don't know.
Speaking of that, you're going to tell me about, what's that girl's name we were talking about that was missing? You said they found her, and what was the deal with that? Because I was off for a couple of days. I wasn't watching anything. I was working.
They found what? Yeah, they found Chelsea.
The girl that was missing, that had the two kids, and she was in Cali as a Lyft driver or something.
It's just pretty funny. They find her the next day after we put some coverage on it, and a lot of people were talking.
Hell yeah, you got so many eyes on it. So where did they find her?
They found her at a remote location in a house that's in a very rural area.
So she was probably messed up, probably a meth house or something.
It wasn't a good house, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, she relapsed, it sounds like to me.
Yeah, it's some stuff going on, but hey.
Well, it's just kind of funny. We start talking about it, and bam, everybody's. This is powerful, man. This
Chelsea Wiley is she was found, and I'm glad I got the call the next day. I know they turned up the heat, and I don't know. It's funny. The next day after we get off, she's found.
Well, it's because we're changing their investigation. The lack of. When it's just like there's shinies everywhere on the groceries aisle, like 7-Eleven sitting right beside behind the wall. There it is. Yeah, that's funny, Athena.
That's proof to never stop. Exactly, Kelsey. But shit, I gotta get off here. I gotta go take care of some shit. I gotta go take care of some fiance time before she goes. She's gotta go to bed and stuff. She's gotta get up early. But
all right, bro.
Good
night. Yeah, I gotta go to bed too. It's like
I'll be back on again. I'll be back on again tomorrow. I'm probably gonna get on there. It's probably gonna be an early live for me tomorrow, though, guys. So pay attention for me in the morning time. It's gonna be morning time, probably live for me, probably around 9-10 a.m. I'll probably tomorrow's Tuesday, right? Tomorrow Tuesday or Wednesday?
Tomorrow's Tuesday.
Yeah, I'll be live and I'm gonna be on the early in the morning. I think 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. I plan on being live.
All right. Well, I'll be working.
You'll be working. I'll be on here checking. Having some morning true crime time.
Right on.
There's,
all right, everyone.
There's some other cases I'm bringing on, but I appreciate everybody in the live. Make sure you smash that like button on the way out. Thank you, everybody that's been here. I appreciate you. Shout out to you, Detective John. I'll talk to you shortly, man. God bless you, brother. Thank you for calling in, man. I appreciate you.
No problem, man. See you.
Bless. Shout out to Detective John. Shout out to everybody in the building. It's going to be an early one for me. New subscriber, thanks for speculation and theories, everyone. Have a good night. It's going to be an early one for me. Well, this is an early one for me right now, 3:18. I'm not going to bed right now. I'm getting off, go hang out with my fiance for a little bit, and I'm going to be chilling. I'm staying up all the way all night because my sleep schedule's so screwed up. So this is my plans, is to stay up through the night and go to bed tomorrow night around 7:30 p.m. and catch back up and be on my morning schedule. Because I hate being, I don't know. My thing is I hate being, I don't know. I don't really, I like going lives at, sometimes at night, but I really like my morning schedule better. I'm more productive in the morning. And with my sleep schedule so shifted right now where I'm going to bed, I'm up all night binge watching ID and Hulu, true crime 24/7 and Discord is like, hey, look, I got to get my schedule back on point because it's not looking good for me when my schedule is like it is now. Like I wake up and there's so many different things that I have to get done and it's already late in the day and I'm not as productive as I was during the day. So I don't know. That's just my idea and that's what I'm doing. That's one of my goals that is sitting up there on that board you see right there. Is to start scheduling a little bit better, especially for the channel and being live. That doesn't mean there won't be midday lives no more. That just means that I'm just trying to get back to my regular schedule like I was on, which was we were live, 6, 7 a.m. in the morning, 8 a.m. No later than 10 a.m. We were live all the way up till 5 p.m. daily. That's what I'm trying to get back to. So that's the goal. That's when we get on. I appreciate you. I need your routine. You need your routine. Yes, I know. I definitely do. I'm watching ID now, right? I'm about to go in there and watch that now. There's a web sleuth series on Hulu you guys should check out. I think it's called Web of Death. Check that out. That's a very good show. That's a very, very good show. Shout out to everybody that's been in the stream. Appreciate you guys. You know what's up. Check this out, though. I'm going to end it with this, the Truckee Way. And you guaranteed that I'm going to be making a song on the Idaho 4. When it's all said and done and we get some answers.
G-Ball, you got to stop doing this.
I'm going to do the same for this case in general. Love you guys. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Shout out to all of you.
You suck, you jackass.
Finish him.
Look. All my life has been neglection, so now I pick up the pen and use it as a weapon. Yeah, you can see that I'm affected. People getting killed for nothing but obsession. You need to look at your reflection and decide who you are. Stop acting disconnected. Got mothers killing kids. People kill to live. Well, I be on the mic, speaking how I live. Every day I wake up, it's another person that's dead, and YouTube has to solve it because the law is filling kids. I'm disgusted at the evil in the end, and if you connect the dots, you'll see the vision in your head. Why do people die as victims to the streets? They wonder why I'm up all night and can't sleep. I'll be the voice for everyone who can't speak. L.E. fell Kylie, and now Sammy is free. AWP. did a good deed, and y'all be talking all that shit while they just do it for free. 16 days for 35 minutes. Y'all tried to throw them off and just want to play the victim. Reaching out to YouTube channels for clout. I wouldn't check it. TV if I went in your house. And SF investigate, stay sending out the hate. Why you mad at Doug and Nick for finding Kylie in the lake? Make it make sense. You're a fake bitch. You were there for money and now you're mad over fake shit. And that's something I can't relate with. Zero emotion from the mom on the statements. All I seen was the devil in her eyes. Tony died, you're a fake. I can see it through your lies. Got Sammy on your stream like the FBI. You've been grooming little kids. I can see your whole disguise. It get mail calling Ronnie up on the line. Why you lie to the people and say you gon' do it live? Santa Maid out here looking at your sus. Got an arrow on the ground pointing towards Kylie's truck. And you wanna come and up church. I think your butt hurt. You tried to blame the man for your dog but couldn't find the dirt. I guess that's what they mean by the trucky way. If you step foot in the town, you might die from foul play. And I don't know what to say, but I can feel it through my soul. She didn't drive in LA. So y'all can try to go convince somebody else, cause I'm not falling for that shit. The autopsy really smells.
See, let me explain what I'm talking about, man. And you know what I'm talking about. No water in the lungs. Y'all test for the weirdest shit. I guess it is the trucky way.
You gotta stop doing this.
I mean, I really guess it's the trucky way, man.
The trucky way. It is the trucky way. Is it the Moscow way?
Hey, Smokey back here taking a shit. Get there.
Smoke weed every day.
You know? Is it? Is it really the Moscow way? The Pullman way? What is going on out here? You guys, let me know.
Finish him.
Get the fuck out of here!
We'll end it like this, right? Go back here, and I'm gonna end it with this last one. That's just how I do.
Hi, this is Dave Jackson with YouTube News, and I wanted to report on a few artists here by T-REV. T-REV was calling them out. They're definitely buying views. We went and looked at their social blades, and it's 100% fact. They're really doing it. Look.
You
Listen
suck.
to me when I get on these beats. I put you to sleep with a pillow for free. I say what I say and I live what I speak. I don't give a shit about none of your beef. Ride with the heat. I'ma tell you what it be. Evidently, you came around fucking with me. I'm talking to peace. I'm not trusting the streets. Everybody is a thug till they get put to sleep. Definitely moving ahead of these. I got the energy. I got the remedy. You will eventually see that I'm mentally on another level that you will never see. I got the legacy. This is the better me. Give him the beats like I'm swinging the enemy. You ain't a friend of me. You just pretend to be. Give him a Grammy. He's acting tremendously. Why you gotta fake shit? Take a hack guy, give your ass a facelift. You dumb man still stuck to the basics. One flow and you never really say shit. Don't maybe drag your ass out of basement. Me this Timberland boot, I'm in to shake shit. From the streets, I had to hustle just to make it. Flipping packs on the verses when we pay rent. What you know about it? At 13, I was taught how to make sense. You were in school playing with a paint pen. I was on the block, really serving many men. By the way, I think you owe me like 50 cents. I am your boss, cause I got the sauce. Hop in my way, then you stick to a dog. You're taking this loss. I'm in the field, snacking this shit like my name Randy Moss. Back at it like a crack at it, gotta jump it like a jack rabbit, cause I'm that savage. If you ever wanna stab at it, take a pass at it. I run the tracks like a school, cause I'm fast at it. Vividly sick of your history. I got no sympathy. You live in misery, lack of consistency. Fuck the publicity, exposing your history. You was a bitch to me, come and get rid of me. You don't really wanna try that. Fuck around, you be stuck like a fly trap. Uppercuts make you wiggle from the contact. We ain't from the Bronx, but you know I got a bomb that. Bring the humidity, I got the chemistry. This ain't a trilogy. We got the victory. Fuck all the industry. I'm independently signed to myself, and I got all the infantry. Written ahead of my prime. I really think it's about that time that I take one of these rappers and put them in the back, cause they literally buy views from online. People respect this. I'm the neglected and tell the whole world you're faking your checklist. I'm eating my breakfast. I bet you regret this. Every single one of you gonna regret this, man. It disconnected from reality, and that's a fact. You need to get back in tune, but it's too late for that. Buying views and bots for clout like it's gonna make a stack. You would really let your tonsils get poked for a couple racks. You're the type to buy 100,000 views and share the news to your people like you're making big moves. Y'all some psycho motherfuckers probably posted by school. I bet you shoot the bitch up to see your face on the news. Is my face on the news yet? Oh my god.